Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shimayo, and this is the MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest and online, and we will continue to have events online as we go back to meeting in person. Today, we have 6 practitioners on the panel, and our theme is crystal skulls and channeling. But we're looking forward to talking with you about the theme and answering your questions, and channeling and working with crystal skulls are clearly part of the modalities that we will use in answering your questions today. You'll hear that the practitioners use many, many modalities. And so we'll use whatever modalities really are called forth from us in answering your questions. It's free to be here to listen and learn from all that is shared. We encourage you to learn from everything that is asked and everything that's answered. And it's a small price to ask a question of the panel. It's $16 to $24 sliding scale and $10 for BIPOC. The information is in the chat for how to pay for today. If you do pay to ask a question, please also just make a note in the chat and let me know that you have paid so I get you in line. We've got one person in line right now. And before we go through and start answering questions, we're going to have the practitioners introduce themselves first. And I want to mention one person that's not here yet that's coming, and that is Galactic Ashley. And Galactic Ashley does galactic energy activations and star family readings and works with crystal skulls. And I don't think I see her yet. And she said she'd be here pretty close to 4. So yeah, she'll be here anytime. And just she said there's like airplanes flying overhead. So hopefully they won't be flying overhead as she is talking. All right. Let's see. So we're going to have the practitioners introduce themselves, and practitioners, maybe go ahead and introduce yourself and all your modalities and go ahead and talk about the theme at the same time, since I know for some of you it's going to be all integrated. So let's just go ahead and do that. And okay, let's see. So we'll go the same order we did earlier in our online, in our practice run on Facebook. So Susy, Henry, Shelley, and then Lorelei. We have another Lorelei here today, and then probably Galactic Ashley will arrive, and then I'll go. All right, and take 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, thanks, Lorelei. I'm Susy Parker Goins, and excuse me. Hi, I'm Susy Parker Goins, and I'm with Blue Lightning Healing and Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. I am a channel, so that means I move my consciousness aside as much as I can and allow energy to come through, divine to come through, or source to come through to present itself in whatever way is most accessible to you. So whether you work with Archangel Michael or Mother Mary, I've even channeled intergalactics and interdimensional beings. It's whatever you need, whatever energy you need in the moment. And that means sometimes my body, my physicality changes. Archangel Michael to me has a great big chest, and Mother Mary is very kind and gentle, and Kuan Yin sounds a little differently. And that helps you to discern what sort of energy. You're always welcome to ask questions, trade stories, recipes, jokes, whatever you want, just something so that you can open up to your guides and be willing to work with them. I also, as a result, I'm also an energy healer, so I do Reiki and body scans, and I can help you identify these blockages you may hold in your body, whether it's from trauma or emotions or even past lives. And that's like the other thing that I really enjoy doing is looking at past lives, talking to those personalities, working through lessons, integrating the wisdom, allowing you to release. So we're kind of clearing your path so you can have a heartfelt lifetime. Channeling, I started channeling, I don't know, I channeled it when I was 8, and then I shut it down because it freaked me out. And then I started working with tarot when I was in my 20s, and it's grown from there. And I believe everyone can channel when you're tapping into your intuition and bringing this information through that you went, where did that come from? You're channeling, and you're channeling divine. I have, thanks to Galactic Ashley, I have learned how to work with crystal skulls. There was once I was channeling one and I thought, you have to be a skull, you'll have to be a skull, but no, it was a dragon. So the energy of the crystal can affect what sort of being you pull through. So I do work with dragons and with the crystal skulls. I enjoy working with the energy of them. I'm not very well versed in the history of crystal skulls, but the channeling, the information has really always been so enlightening and yeah, enlightening. And it's really definitely broadening my spectrum and my perspective on things. I've got a few of them, and you know, I've got my lapis one and I've got this one and that one. So I'm looking forward to fielding questions and learning from the other practitioners too. These panels always just it carries me through. I was kind of dragging a little bit, but it's like, oh, I'm on a panel now. So I get to talk to people who get what we're talking about. So bluelightninghealing.com is my website. I also have a podcast, Blue Lightning Healing Meditations, that you can find on Spotify and Amazon Music, Transformation Talk Radio, and several other locations. And you can contact me at Susy, SUSY, at bluelightninghealing.com. So excited to be here. I love this. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Susy. All right, Henry.
Hello, hello, hello. All right, so let me start my timer, because that's how I don't go over. Okay, so I am Henry India Holden. I can be reached at henryindiaholden.com. And I like to say it back to back because that's probably the easiest way to remember it. So I haven't thought of myself, or haven't called myself a channel, because I am not entirely comfortable with channeling non-manifest beings or people who've passed over. On occasion it happens in a session because that's what's appropriate, and I certainly allow that. But as I've gotten a lot better with psychic protection, I'm less uncomfortable with it, and I will make that available to people if they need it. I specialize in two areas: getting clear about your life purpose or hero's journey and the steps to manifest it. And the second thing is developing a deeper connection with the divine in a way that's aligned with your divine self. Everyone has their own unique way. The crystal skull is a conduit for healing, and as are so many crystals. And the one that I particularly work with here is the amethyst. And why I love the amethyst so much is because it helps with psychic protection. And of course, it's for healing, but it's also for clarity. So especially in the area of working on your purpose, on your life purpose, clarity is usually what's missing most. So I like to have this beautiful crystal here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just really gorgeous. I like to have that present. How I came to it was that it was always there. It started with my mom. I inherited this from my mom. My mom was psychic and a clairvoyant and a number of other things. And then it just took half a lifetime to get rid of whatever is in the way, like embarrassment or how one may be judged. And now that all that's been behind me for a long time, I'm free and clear to be of service. And I have 15 seconds left, so I have.
You want to show us that crystal again too? I've got you spotlighted now, and you can see it better.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
The color doesn't really show. It's a beautiful purple, but it's not really showing. I can see that. I can see that. Okay. All right. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Henry. All right, Shelley.
Hi, I'm psychic Shelley Hofberg, and I did become aware of my gift of mediumship when I was age 7. I could see and hear and sense things around me. And I feel that my grandmother on the other side was very instrumental in me helping to develop my mediumship at age 7 because she passed on. And I was afraid when my abilities first opened, but because my grandmother was always with me and protecting me, I was able to be open to my gift of mediumship. And I'm also I also train people. I do a spiritual channeling course, and I train people to develop their medium skills. And I do incorporate crystals in my 4 Clairs psychic development class and in my spirit development spirit channeling class. And I find that the best course, the best the best crystals for developing your abilities, your channeling abilities, is the quartz crystals. So I use rose quartz and amethyst, and especially quartz crystal, clear quartz crystal, which is because these crystals, the quartz crystals, are conductors of energy. So they are able to pick up the energy of the spirit and transmit that energy through the medium that is holding the crystal. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thanks so much, Shelley. All right, Lorelei. Lorelei's first time on one of our panels. Thanks so much for joining us.
I'm so excited to be here with all of these magical people. It's really wonderful. Thanks for having me. And I feel that we share a very special name. Lorelei is a siren. I think of us as calling people to their true selves, calling people home to themselves, which is what I really love to do. I'm very passionate about helping people develop a daily spiritual practice of meditation and seeing, so that they can be sure to keep their space clear of intrusions of energy and spirits. I teach mediumship, I teach meditation, and I teach a lot of other more esoteric, funky things that involve unraveling curses, where I will follow these threads of light from my third eye to find where the origination of a knot is in somebody's field of awareness that will help them that limits their ability to be who they really want to be. And with the help of spirit, we unravel these, and their path then is clear. So it's a different way of doing things. And I also do channeling. It is what I call mediumship. I was trained by a woman named Betsy Bergstrom, and she taught that is another form of mediumship. But bringing through divine information that way is really useful for people, I find. And I am also an energy healer and a shamanic practitioner, a Nordic shamanic practitioner. I like to practice and follow the Nordic path of deities. So it's my mystical tradition. It's my heritage, and I really enjoy it. Thank you very much. Oh, and the crystal skulls, I have my crystal skull. The thing that I know about crystal skulls is they come from South America, and they're really trippy things. And people that have there's a few crystal skulls that are originally from South America that have given people profound healings and trippy, bizarre experiences. And they're really well protected and guarded. People have then copied and made crystal skulls similar to those that seem to just have a radiance that is different than when a crystal is just in its natural form. So working with my crystal skull today, there it is. Thank you.
Great, thanks so much, Lorelei. I know Galactic actually has arrived, and I'm wondering if she's ready to introduce herself, but okay, great, let's get you up here.
Okay, wait, start my video. Hello, I think the air show is over. I was realizing that it was like a grating, like a noise, because it was just like, like all day, and it's just like, in the background, and I'm trying to imagine the joy that the children are experiencing somewhere. So hello, I'm actually really, really excited about today. Not that I wouldn't be excited about today, because I love these events. I'm Galactic Ashley, and I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. So besides fitting the channeling bill part of this, I also am a part of the Crystal Skull Council, and so we are made up of a growing collective of activated skull beings, and the Crystal Skull Council manifested to be of heart-centered service with the intention to articulate wisdom from the Crystal Skull consciousness fields that shares divine guidance and support of our ascension in union with Gaia. And we focus on crystalline DNA transformations and provide activations and a lot more. And I've gotten to, I don't know if Wyatt is here, but Susie, Susie and I have done a lot of events together with Wyatt. And so we're excited to be here, and sort of there's a big influx of the crystal skulls that have been coming online lately, and there's a reason for it. So it's not an accident. And I just like to remind everyone that every crystal skull is an ancient crystal skull because the material that it is made of is ancient.
Right, thanks so much, Galactic Ashley. Right, and I'm Lorelei Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I don't particularly use crystals in my work. However, the work that I do with the eye reading that I do is originally sourced from channeling. So it comes from two sources that I know of. One is Alice Bailey's channeled writings. She wrote about 7 rays, 2 sets of 7 rays, and one of those sets is the 7 talents that I read in people's eyes, among many other traits that I read. And then the Michael teachings also is channeled work. My understanding is how a Michael channel works is they hold a photo of someone and they wait and the information arrives. So they're channeling the information about the person. I didn't learn this work as channeling, although I now have no idea what it is that I do when I read someone. I do teach other people to read eyes. So I know some of it is more I mean, I was a scientist, so I think of it as a bit more scientific, where there are very specific things that I look for in people's eyes. And then other parts is just like the practice and opening to intuition and then letting information arrive and however it does arrive. So who knows, if I share about your eyes, I might be channeling today and I might not know about it. I do, there's another practitioner that's been on the panel sometimes that is really the one that opened me to crystals and crystal skulls. And this is, I believe, is it considered a channeling crystal? It's got 6 sides on top. 3 of them have 7 angled sides, and the opposite corners have 3 sides. So supposedly that's a crystal channeling, or it's a channeling crystal. And again, it was like in a sea of crystals on the counter, and I just walked in and went, oh, that one's interesting, and it happened to be this one. So yeah, so it wanted to come here. And then there are just other crystals that I just love and I have around with me as I do my work all the time, and just bits of all kinds of different things. So who knows what magic they help me with in my work. So today I may, depending on what you ask, I may share something about your eyes, or I may share other things that I perceive about your body and your emotions. And just, I notice all kinds of subtleties of tonality and all kinds of different things in the words that you use. It gives me clues as to what might be happening for you. So those are the kinds of ways that I might answer today. Let's see, and we're getting questions. All right, so we've got another question that just came in. Okay, great. Yeah. So if you know your question, if you want, you can tell us ahead of time in the chat, or you can wait until we call on you and we bring you up here. So I'm going to do this in a similar way that I did just in the last panel based on some feedback we got from you. Feedback is super important. It helps us make the events better and better. You asked if maybe the person that asked the question and then only the practitioner answering or something like that would be spotlighted so that you can see them better, especially if they show like beautiful crystals or skulls as part of, right? Crystal skulls as part of their answer. So chances are I'll have the practitioner answering and maybe the next practitioner up for part of the time. Yeah, so I will go check and see who else is paid and get more of you in line. It looks like it's going to be Wendy, Sarah, Alex, and then Shayla, and more people keep coming. So I'll get more in the chat in a moment. And then a few things just before we get started, Wendy, with your question. So we believe that everyone is intuitive. So this is a great opportunity to practice opening to your intuition. When someone asks a question, you might notice what comes through you. Probably write it down, as the insights often don't stay for very long. If you write it down, it might be more grounded and you can connect back with it again. Please keep it to yourself while we're answering someone's question. Allow the attention to stay up here on the panel. And then when we're done answering, if you want to, you're welcome to write them privately in chat and see if they'd like to hear what came through for you. Please honor whatever they share. It's possible that they'll feel full after they've heard from maybe 6 of us. So trust that it came through you for some other reason. And I want to encourage you all to open and learn from all that's asked and answered. And then there's something else I wish. Oh, yeah. That's right. When you ask a question, right? You asked this lovely question. We may start talking about this other area of your life that you don't want us talking about here in this public forum, which is recorded and going to get posted online, or we go deeper than you want us to go here. That's fine. Please let us know. You can give us guidance in the beginning about how you want us to focus our answer. It could be just interrupt us in the middle if we go off course and we do something that you don't want us to be doing here. We're here to honor you. So unmute and interrupt us verbally, wave your hands in chat. You'll probably be spotlighted. Do whatever you need to get our connection and intent, to get our attention so that we can change course and honor you. And let's see. And Henry, yeah, so it's great comments in the chat and things. Okay, yeah, so let's see. So I know, so Henry, you asked about doing something for us. I'm great with that. And practitioners, anything else you want to do in terms of setting the stage for this? I'm great with that too. Just do something briefly. That's great. All right. Yeah, so Henry, you want to open things up and then we'll get to Wendy's question.
Okay, I didn't know if it should be me or maybe somebody else. So, but I guess it's me. So here we go. So I like to do psychic protection before we start, especially because you invited people to open up their own psychicness or their own intuition. So this now includes all of us. Even though you're not in the same space as we are, and we're all in different places and some in different places in the world, on the quantum level, that doesn't really matter at all. Space is not distant like we think it is. So we all can be included in this. So imagine yourself included. So what I'm doing is, first of all, I'm burning some sage, and I'm burning that for all of us. And now what I'm doing is I'm drawing a beautiful circle of fire around all of us, including all of us, Sarah, Anne, Stephanie, Jerry, Diane, Shayla, Valerie, Martha, iPhone, Daniel, Arim, and whoever else. And I don't want to take too much time, and all our practitioner. So we're all encompassed by this beautiful golden fire. And this is a fire of protection. And now I'm pulling this up over us. I'm bringing this fire up, and it becomes this wonderful dome over all of us, and then pulling it under us. And now it's this wonderful, beautiful golden membrane that encompasses all of us, that protects all of us. And the only things that can be present in this space are all of us and that which serves our highest good. And this is so in my name and in the name of the most divine. And now I'm going to ask anything and anyone who is not serving our highest good to leave. So I'm not just asking you, I'm commanding you. You're leaving now. And I call on any spirit teams who want to come in and take care of whoever or whatever has been asked to leave. That would be wonderful, and I welcome that. And this circle is now, this membrane is now closed, and we're all 100% fully and beautifully protected.
Great. And are there any other practitioners that want to share anything as we're opening? Optional, just want it to be open for you. All right, great. So you know what's coming. We've got in line, we've got Wendy, Sarah, Alex, Shayla, and Cecilia. Okay, practitioners, so let's aim to keep it for like around 3 minutes or so or less per answer, and then we will be able to fit everyone and maybe another question or so in. All right, great. Wendy, let's see. So I'm going to start pulling a bunch of us off. Spotlight.
Well, I'm trying to turn it off. Hold on.
If you're in with 2 different devices, you have to turn the audio off of one of them. And let's see. And then I can only spotlight you if you have a video going. So let's see if you, I don't have to. So Wendy. You may be dealing with some tech issues. Wendy, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Okay, great.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Okay. What is your question?
Well, first, thank you for having me. This is so exciting, and I love everyone's bios. They're so cool. And I'm so sorry I'm not on Zoom. My internet connection was not staying on. So thank you for taking me with the call.
Oh,
so I have a question. I've been having just for years, like landlord issues, just problems with like my home always, or sometimes I'm broken into, sometimes it's just like a legal problem with a landlord. And I'm currently in a legal problem. And I just don't know what the big picture is here, because this has been ongoing and it's overwhelming to the point where it's just taken over. And I just don't know what the lesson is that I'm meant to learn. It's right now my current situation is mold and formaldehyde that I've been living with, and I unfortunately had to sue the landlord. So I'm in the middle of a legal process.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you so much for your explanation of your question.
I just feel like it has like a bigger meaning than what I'm like paying attention to.
Yeah. And some things that immediately just come up for me while others are waiting, or while things are coming to them. I just think about toxicity in childhood and how you learn to tolerate toxicity. What about emotionally was toxic with your parents? Is there anything just chemically too in the environment, the way that you were raised? Were they not available?
My dad he always traveled for work, and then I guess they divorced when I was younger, but not like chemical, like, I didn't have mold or formaldehyde when I was younger.
But where did you grow up? What part were you in the US?
In Michigan. Yeah, Michigan. US.
What part of Michigan?
The Detroit area.
Okay, Detroit area. All right, and I lived at I live at 15 Mile, and I spent a lot of time at 11 Mile along Woodward.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
You're in Detroit?
That's where you live right now?
No, that's where I used to live. I lived, I spent a lot of time at 11 Mile.
Yeah, that's so funny. Nice.
Yeah, I just, just the energy of Michigan was strange when I was there, Detroit when I was there, but it's long ago. Well, other practitioners are ready, so let me go ahead and hand things off to them. So we're going to have Lorelei, Galactic, Ashley, and Susy. So I'll bring Lorelei to the front.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so one of the things that I feel when I look and I search here is it feels like there's a knot in your energy, and it might be translated as a kind of curse, that there's an event that happened, something that happened, and things just went wonky from then on out. And this almost feels like it's a lineage thing too, and it feels like a person behind you. And I don't mean to freak you out about this, but it just feels like there's an overshadowing about this too. Like somebody's trying to get your attention about something, and it just feels like, so I guess what I would offer to you also is just a blessing from the spirits, that may your path be cleared, and may things become easy for you, and that once this mold gets cleared, this mold feels like it's actually related to something deeper in your life. Mold goes deep into the walls, and there's something inside you. There's a pattern that needs to be just sort of disconnected, discombobulated, and that this mold is representative of something deeper. You can do this. You will do this. I know that you will figure this out. I can see that very clearly. And I guess with that, let's go.
Oh, thank you.
All right, great. And then we've got Galactic Ashley next.
Hello, Wendy.
Hi.
Okay. So I'm also getting similar to Lorelei 1. That this is feeling very reflective of childhood. So okay, so I feel like the Syrian Council of Light is here. So we are the Syrian Council of Light, and at this time we would like to offer you some opportunities. One, the Lionsgate portal is opening, and multiple opportunities are presenting themselves. One having to do with connecting the feminine principle to the solar energies and allowing these energies to come in to bring a bioluminescence, or to bring your cellular structure more energy and to bring a bioluminescence to your internal sense of beingness. Additionally, we feel that there is resistance when there was a question asked of you about your childhood, as if by looking back in history, it is okay. You can practice detachment and to look at your parents without judgment, but to still see where they maybe could have chose differently during their divorce, for example. Oftentimes there's something called a set point. This usually occurs prior to 10 years old, where for you, a set point entered your system where you found home maybe meant instability. So within your subconscious energy field, there is a belief system that says home must be unstable and that there is no home. So oftentimes with divorced children, you are living in houses, but you are not having a home if there is shared custody. So the idea is that there's something within your subconscious from your childhood that is coming up through these landlord issues. A lot of it is having to do with power, but if you simply ask for the courage to have the wisdom downloaded, to see the truth, so not what is true, but to see the truth for you, because what is true is that you are in a litigation process with your landlord, but what the truth is something more that is below in deeper layers of your subconscious. And so you can simply set the intention before you go to sleep at night to wake up with some divine inspiration to take inspirited action, or to understand at a deeper level what it is that is happening, so that you can work with releasing and healing these subconscious frequencies that are sending out frequency matches that are participating in you when you are co-creating your home space.
Ah, okay. That's great. Thank you. Just when I go to sleep, just ask.
Great. Galactic Ashley, is there anything else you want to say about that? Or is that?
No, yes. Yeah, you can, we forget to ask a lot. So you can ask, you can just connect with your higher self. You don't have to connect to something outside of you. I'm so confused with all of these. I updated Zoom and there's like so many notices. So you can just simply ask your higher self to help you, because when we're working with our subconscious, right, it's in the subconscious. Like we literally have no idea that it exists. So you have to kind of continually make requests that you be shown the belief system that is co-creating all of these landlord living situations.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you to everyone.
Maybe since it's related, I'll jump in and just say a tiny bit more. I went specifically to like thinking about toxins as childhood, but if I think about all the legal things, it's as if you have to fight to be here. So if you don't know what was happening with your mother when she got pregnant, what it was like when she was carrying you, how easy it was or wasn't for your family to receive you when you were born, what else was the context with other siblings. I don't know if you're first or not, but like just looking at all those things of how welcomed you were, how welcoming your environment was, or how much you had to fight to make it through any other medical things or anything like that in the very beginning.
Interesting.
There are specifically tools of, I know in water, different types of water therapies, and it's like versions of like rebirthing, but that's really gentle and easy and welcoming and loving that can undo those kinds of patterns. So just examples.
Oh, I never heard of that. I'll look that up.
Yeah, and I can share more. There's some specific ones that I know of. All right, Susy is next.
Hey, Wendy, you were asking about the bigger picture, and what I saw were past lives. I agree. I want to agree with everybody, what everybody else is saying. Is like looking at your childhood and looking at toxicity issues and stuff like that. But in past lives, you spend a lot of time standing your ground and defending your home, and that energy has carried forward here. It feels to me that you have been just working. It's like, oh God, no more Jiminy crickets, and keep going with that. I'm seeing like what is this, kind of like in Britannia. It wasn't even Great Britain at the time. This was like, you know, further back than that. And I see you just standing there just going, stay off of my land. And you fought really hard with the Saxons. Feels like with the Saxons. So we're going back to, like, I don't know, 13th century, 14th, 13th
Wow.
century. And you spent a lot of time just fighting them off. And that, the wisdom from that lifetime is that you fight for what is worth, which is of worth to you, and your home is important to you, and your health is even more important to you. So it feels very masculine, this energy coming through and just saying you have to fight. However, in this day and age, you get to call the shots. So you can say when you're done with it or when you're not, but to fight for your own, oh, what's the word Galactic Ashley uses? Your own sovereignty over your home and your health and your physical being. So that's what I got from this. How you can work with it is to call in guides, ask your guides to help you with it, to say, okay, what can we do? This guy, this being wants to just come in and kick some major butt, and I don't think that's going to be useful. You need to come at it from another angle. So finding like Saint Jerome, who worked with the law, you can call in some sort of beings like that to help you navigate through those legal recourses so that you can get the resolution that is best for you.
So Saint Germain or Saint Jerome?
Jerome was a writer. Germain is one who focuses on healing. He's one of those like 12 masters, Saint Germain is.
Yeah.
So he could conceivably, well, if you heard Germain, there's probably absolutely a reason why. So you can call him in to help you with the healing, but Jerome to help you with the legal aspect of it.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know St. Jerome, and I love that he's a writer, so I'll look him up and definitely ask them both for help.
Cool. Thanks.
Gosh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. This has been enlightening.
Great. And there's
thank you so much.
Henry. Henry, you're muted. You're still muted. Should be bottom left.
Got it. Okay, got it. I'm so used to doing right by my little square. I'm like, I don't have a little square. Okay, so, you know what everybody said, of course. And the hit that I got most was through this card here. The land between. So I feel that that's where you are all the time. So I see this also as a crossroads. So you're going from thing to fight about to thing to fight about to thing to fight about. And the sense that I get is that it feels to that it looks like here's the next thing showing up that I have to struggle with. Why is this happening? And I think all of these are like, you know, like when the bird is in the nest and the mom pushes the bird out so that the bird flies. Yes. So yeah. I think that these things that are happening are about pushing you out of the status quo. But what you're doing instead is you're engaging with this as if it were about that battle. So, and I totally got that too, that you're a fighter and that you've been a fighter for many lifetimes. And, you know, it's like, what it makes me think of is the gunslinger, where the problem with being a gunslinger is that all the people who want to be better than you start showing up. So when the better you get at fighting, the better your opponents show up. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so the way to end that cycle is by allowing yourself to be pushed forward. So I'm assuming that the sense I get is that you're refusing the call to your hero's journey. Are you familiar with the hero's journey?
Yes. Yes.
Joseph Campbell's. Yeah, so yes. There is a call to you. And I think each one of these struggles that you're dealing with, where you're struggling and you're fighting, is that call again. So like for example, at one point I was going to come here to beautiful Seattle, but I was kind of iffy about it. And I like immediately lost my job, and my lease was up, and I basically got pushed out of the nest. And I knew what that meant is like, get your airplane ticket now. So, and then when you don't follow this call, then it just keeps happening over and over and over in the coinage that works best for you, which is to fight and succeed at that, or fight, at least hold the lions off. And then the other card that I put, so far, are you following it just really fine and see it connect with you?
I am. I don't see the cards you're holding because I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
But,
I'm so sorry.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
I'll watch it later.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's
you hold
right.
it up again, and I can text it to her because we talked earlier.
This is one card. Well, if you put your email in the chat directly to me, if you want to do that, I'll take a picture of this because it doesn't represent very good on the screen. Something's going on with my camera. It's very beautiful. So I'll email that.
Is it a tarot card or is it a different deck?
It's an oracle deck. And then here's a tarot card, which is the Gaian Tarot by Joanna Powell Colbert. And that's the Seven of Earth. So the Seven of Earth is again, it's about a crossroads. It's also saying, you know, success is around the corner. So perhaps today is the day that you're no longer taking the bait, because you're taking the bait and then doing what you know to do, which is a way of repeating what's already not getting you where you want to be.
So I guess my question is, so you're thinking that I'm meant to be moving out of where I'm currently living, like move like towns or doing something else with my life?
Yes. Yeah, it's not something else, but the thing that you're meant to be doing. There's like something calling to you, and there's still some kind of prevarication around that, which is normal. You know, our society is not set up for us to follow the call that comes to us. So
yeah, I guess I just don't know what the call is. That's where I'm kind of confused, but I do know that I have to leave LA. I do know that LA hasn't been good.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, absolutely. Sometimes the fight is best not taken to the person who is resisting you, or who is not taking care of you, which is another way of resisting you. But I am getting very much not just a step back and stop fighting. I'm very much getting leave a step over the threshold. I wish you could see the card so you could see it. Step up, there's a threshold not stepping over, and haven't been stepping over for a long, long time. That's the hit I'm getting.
Okay. Gosh, that's so, you guys are amazing. And also different, which is so interesting, and it's exciting, and you've all given me so much good information, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
And we've got even one more. Galactic Ashley has more to share.
Yeah, I just wanted to, what Henry was saying is about the moving, and then you asked, like, how do I know? So this connects to, it doesn't, so energetically, this Lion's Gate portal is opening on August 8th. So you don't need to be doing anything with the stars necessarily, but just that energetically, a lot of solar energy is coming in to burn off old stuff and to burn away things that are no longer serving you, and we can resist them or we can try and open to them. So when you are so our home, the places that we live, are oftentimes reflections of our physical structures, like our bodies too. So when you ask, like, how do I know, this really goes to allowing your feminine principle, connecting the feminine principle to the sun, and allowing the trauma of the feminine principle to like burn away. And this is like collective trauma and probably individual trauma too. And to move forward, or to just wait until you will have clarity when you can feel comfortable enough to open, because it's the feminine principle needs to open to receive information. So in that sense, to receive is to be feminine, and to give is to be the masculine energy, right? So if you're constantly masquerading your feminine principle with masculine energy, then we're kind of fighting all of the time. And that's a lot of that energy is part of the old paradigm too. So I definitely agree with what Henry was saying. And I do believe that if you can get your physical body to experience comfort, which might not happen in your home space, right? Because your home space is constantly moving or shifting, but to try and just make your physical body comfortable, or moments of comfort in your physical body, and then you can invite in, again, ask to receive. And if you can just relax enough, you might have these moments of clarity.
Ah, oh my God, I love that. August 8th, right?
Yes.
The Lionsgate portal is going to open.
You can just remember it by 88 Lionsgate.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Oh my God, that's so awesome.
And if you want to ask another question, anyone, we have a Lionsgate panel in preparation on Wednesday, August 4.
Oh, okay. I'll sign up for August 4th. Thank you to everyone.
And we've got one more answer for you, Shelley. So I understand you're raising your hand. So Shelley, yeah, let's work on the other raise hand icon. And thank you so much for getting up here. All right, Shelley. Shelley, you're muted. Okay, Shelley, you're unmuted, but for some reason I'm not hearing you. So we had this once before, remember, some weird thing. You're muted now, so play with unmuting. We got to figure out how to get this to work. Okay, no. Okay, I can't hear you. So Shelley, let's have you call me maybe, and then I'll, I want to be able to hear you here. And I'll put you on speaker. Shelley, I'm calling you. Can you answer the phone, and then I'll put you on speaker? Yes, hold on. Okay, Shelley, what's your answer?
Let me just get back on.
We got to mute you.
Let me just get back on.
So you're gonna have to get off audio, unfortunately. Hold on. So I got to turn. Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, if it can you turn off audio? So actually, go to the bottom left where the little unmute thing is. There's a little caret. Click the caret and choose. There's a way of turning off the audio. Leave computer audio. It's towards the bottom.
Okay, here it is. Okay, I left computer audio.
Okay, great. Everyone can hear you now. Go ahead. What's your answer?
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. Let's go
I'll
ahead.
have my computer guy look at it. Wendy, I was also, picking up a past life, and a past life, and a witch. You were a doctor, so you were treating sick people in that past life. And in this life, because of the mold situation, you are having some health issues, that are going to need medical attention. But I'm also feeling that some of the health issues that you're having is not mold related. It's not related to the situation with the mold. Some of them are, but there is a lot of energy that is lodged in the chakras, the bottom chakras, the sacral, the root, the sacral, the solar plex. There's a lot of energy that is blocked in your chakras because you, from your past life as a doctor, you were empathic, and you took in people's pain, and you took in people's illness and your physical body. And so part of it, yes, is the situation with the Mo, but the other part of it has to do with your past life as a medical doctor, and you're bringing in the illnesses from a past life. And these illnesses are blocked in your chakras, and they've been there a long time. But it wasn't until the landlord situation and the situation with the mold, that they were dormant for a long time, that the illnesses from the past life became activated. So that is also causing you to be sick, not just the mold. And if you want a chakra balancing and clearing session, just call me, after the show, and I will do that for you.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Shelley, so I'll just call you each time that you have an answer if we can't figure out what else to do, okay?
You what, dear?
I'll call you each time you have an answer if we can't figure out what else to do.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Wendy, for getting us started with your first question. I know we sent you a lot, and I sent you a text also about the water therapy that I mentioned. It's called Radiance, and there's information in the chat if anyone else wanted to see it also. And
okay.
it's really good that you're in Southern California, because there's a practitioner in Southern California. So if that's of interest to you, and I've done it several times myself. So yeah, I gave you information in the text.
Awesome. Thank you. And I want to speak to all of you again after this. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Again, God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Yeah, and all of our contact info is in Facebook as well as on our webpage. If you go to joinmeweonline.com, you can see the link to the event and all of the contact info for all the practitioners. And anytime, anyone, you're having trouble reaching a practitioner, just come to me and I will help you find whoever it is. So thanks, Wendy.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, Sarah, you are next. Okay, let's see. All right, get Sarah up in spotlight. All right, what is your question?
Hi, everyone. My question is kind of twofold. So I recently started a new job, and it happened very easily. And how it manifested, but I'm just questioning, is it really something I should be spending time on? And when I sat with it, it's kind of give it 3 months, and it's been my first week. The other aspect to it is that I've been doing my own thing. I'm a breath worker, so I have clients. I'd like to grow that more. I'm a Feng Shui consultant. Again, would love to grow more clients, and I do teach yoga. So I've been dabbling and following my passions and my curiosities for many years in these realms, and I'm certified, taking numerous trainings. And the other side of me is, I would say I'm twofold. So I've always been in corporate. I worked for the same organization for 15 years in the corporate world, in a few different positions. So I have a lot of experience from that aspect, from sales, operation, marketing. And then took a sabbatical, started in 2019, sold my place, quit my job, traveled internationally, and I moved from Atlanta to here in Portland. Because I always wanted to live here, and I moved here at the end of 2019.
You said you moved from Atlanta to where?
To Portland.
Okay.
So I live here in Portland, Oregon. And I moved here in November of 2019, anticipating that I'll find another full-time job in the corporate realm. But while I still have the other, my other stuff that I love, I want to do that more full-time, but just to kind of balance it out, and then COVID hit. So, anyway, yeah, I kind of found something I wanted part-time, but it ends up it's full-time, it's remote. It's just, I'm grateful for what it is and what it's a sales position. The product I totally believe in, but I'm looking at the dynamic of a lot of stuff is coming up for me. And what has come up in previous positions, but this one's different because I really haven't been doing this for 2 years. And I'm kind of want to just literally say like, F it. Like I want to do like, but I have to look at how easily it all happened, that the job lined up, how everything flowed into it. But so yeah, do I kind of quit? Like what's going on? Or like, do I give it a few months? And so that's some of my history in that realm.
Hey, by the way, I moved to Portland. November decided to move, and maybe like October decided to move, and then November started my business and moved in December. And yeah, so went cold turkey from full time to working for myself when I moved to Portland. All right, Galactic Ashley, come on up.
What is it a setting that I have where I have, do I have to, sorry, every time I go to talk, it asks me a question. I wonder if that's a setting on my end or.
Oh, it's because I'm spotlighting you and it's asking you to unmute. It seems to do that now automatically. So it does it to me too when I spotlight myself.
Because I switched some things yesterday and did an update and I was like, okay. So this is just in general. As a general, I'm going to say law, is signs and synchronicities don't only happen to good people that are on their spiritual path. So that's the first thing. The other thing is just because something comes easily into our life doesn't mean that's the thing that we need to take. And in this case, because this is a job that you've had before, correct? Like this type of work?
No, it's totally different.
Okay.
It's very different, and that's where I'm struggling too. Like, if I'm going to use a hierarchy store, I'm overqualified for the job that I took on.
But it's in the corporate world still, or no?
Not really.
Okay, interesting.
It's not in a full corporate environment like I've been used to.
Okay.
It's more like a startup, kind of like very small.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the original thing that I got, but I also want to say the other thing too. So what's important, so the original thing that I got was because there's a part of you that feels a lot like me because I don't know what your signs are and it doesn't matter because I'm not really an astrologer, but when somebody asks me to do something, it's like I'm answering for the next 20 years. Or if I take something or accept something, then I'm committing to it, because sometimes I might be slightly slow to commit because commitment means a lot to me. So in this, it's okay that you're there for a short period of time and that it is offering you something. And so receive what it is offering you. And then in your free time, you're probably not going to, not that this has been a lot of social stuff, you're probably not going to be very social for a while. And the universe is offering you a gift. So you're going to have to see the gift in this situation. It might just be financial abundance, right? Until you can, but there's something else in there. I feel like there is something there for you to learn, or a technique or a way to interact with people that's going to serve you in your own metaphysical practice. And then to remember, and I think you already know this because you've been working in for a while, is that like if you start your business tomorrow, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be able to support yourself tomorrow, right? Because you have to, join Lorelei's MeWe fairs or and start like getting out there and that is a process. So this job feels like it is supporting you through that process and until you can make the jump. So I am also saying, because this I think is part two, this is how, when we co-create, the old way of co-creating is that you're like, there's this thing and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all of this work and it's a straight line, or we think it is, and then we go there. And what we're really doing is we're sending out frequencies out into parallel past and future selves of us. And when we have had worked for a while in a certain area and we like it, and there are things that we like about it, we are placing those frequencies on future timeline potentials. So when you are trying to shift those other frequencies, these magnetics that you have created with your thoughts previously, are still in your future reality. So those sometimes appear to you, and it doesn't mean that that is for you. It means that those were timelines that you created for yourself that exist alongside other timelines that you are also creating. But we're not going to these, we're drawing them to us. And so that is the difference in our co-creation practices when we are co-creating with the quantum field. So you can appreciate with gratitude what you have now, and you can send out deep, pure, divine desire into creating and magnetizing through the feminine principle, the solar one, to drawing those magnetics to you, because it's the feminine that is the magnet. The masculine is the electric, right? So that is the power of the feminine, and that is why she, and we all have this, co-create with the universe as the universe, because we are all planetary bodies. So, and also just to throw one more thing in and then I'll stop talking, is sometimes the universe, and I went through this, is when I was saying I didn't want any more photography clients, or I wasn't going to be doing any side contract work, because of the last thing that I just said, and also because the universe was like, show me how much you want this, kind of, and you have to say no to those things. So, but that's not right now, but that you might hit those later when you're starting to shift to only doing the metaphysical work.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, great. We've got Henry next, and then Lorelei, and then Susy.
Okay, Sarah. So I pulled two cards for you, the Two of Earth. And that was the second card, actually. And the first card was Receive Your Good. So yeah, so just look at this, just like that ought to be you. Can you help yourself identify with that?
Yeah, that's Receive My Good. Is that please?
Yeah, like why I work with these cards is because this is so evocative. Just sometimes just really looking at that, like receiving your good. Right? Because I think that even though you sound really super together, and you probably are really together, there is a part of you that's neglected. And I would say that is your spirit part. And that probably what's running the show is fear. You know, the fear of becoming destitute. You know, if you leave the corporate world, I mean, you've left the corporate world, but if you leave the world of being a cog for someone else and producing value for them and then getting paid a little bit for that, i.e. capitalism, then, you know, who's going to pay for your healthcare? So it makes sense, right? It's not you crazy that you're scared. But you're here on this panel, and I think you are on this panel because this doesn't work for you anymore. So like there is millions and millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of people who are working and doing what you're doing, but and they can somehow stomach it. But then there is also a good number of us who are like, we can't do it. We can't do it. And I think you're one of them. And so then the question is just whether you're going to listen or not. So when you look at this card here, the Two of Earth, basically what it's asking, it's very dualistic card, right? So what it's asking you is, do you want to balance between your needs, like my need for safety, my need for, you know, having my life together, and then also, you know, doing this healing work because you're a healer. I mean, we all are healers, but some of us are more pressingly so. And you're in that category of people. So then the question is, do you just want to balance those two like you've been doing, or do you want to prioritize being a healer? And this is what this card is asking you about. Like, now is the time. You know, again, oftentimes when you come to a panel like this, it's because it's time. Now is the time. Or when you see a reader or a psychologist or a coach, it's because now is the time. And then sometimes we can just hang in there and keep going. Yeah, but it's going to take me another 10 years for it to hurt so bad that I'm willing to pay whatever price. But you're still young enough to wait, because it's an enormous amount of work to have a successful business. No kidding. You know, it's not untrue. So, but you know, you don't want to wait until you're 50 or 60 or 70 until you finally go, okay, I'll do it now, because you won't have the energy. So I would say now is the time. I think that these cards don't come because just accidentally. I think, you know, receiving your good is you know what your good is. I think that the stability and safety you're getting from your job is not meant by that good. So that's just the sense I get for you. Does this resonate with you?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, you know, I recommend as a life coach, you know, right away practical. I recommend, you know, do the research, maybe not quit right this very moment, but start putting seriously in place that which it takes. You know, marketing is your biggest issue. Just to get realistic here. Marketing is the biggest issue. If you go on Coursera, you can do free courses, how to use Facebook for marketing. So there's, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, but I'm sure it's okay. Somehow it's not loud enough. Sorry about that. I just can't hear you clearly enough. So yeah, go for it. Go for it now.
Thank you.
Great. And I'll just toss in the extending off of what Henry said, also as a coach, sometimes the practical thing is to get a part-time job working for someone in your field or a related field, so that you're learning how to grow that. Yeah, so Henry's got thumbs up. So you're learning how to grow your kind of business, so you have you know, just some grounded income while you're growing your own. And I did that too. I worked for a leadership coach for a number of years, and that was what I had stopped doing right when I came to Portland. All right, Lori, and then Lorelei, and then Susy. So Lorelei.
Hi. So I don't know if this is going to work. If I can show you, these are the runes that I pulled for you. And this one is about family and heritage. This is about, I think that this is timing, right timing, and this is frozen, and this is the fall, reaping the things that you've sown. So to weave a story about that, first, I want to tell you that the first impression I got from you is like, oh, she is a great manifester. You are a really powerful manifester. The trick for you is to be able to not be in conflict with yourself or what you're manifesting. Whoops, sorry about that. And
It's okay. Things happen.
yeah.
Come on back in. Yeah, when you get your phone.
But you're a really good manifester.
We can't hear you well now, Lorelei, so we got to get just kind of the sound restarted a little bit. Maybe mute, unmute, and then. Okay, close your microphone.
Can you hear me now?
It's just very low. I think the phone was really loud, and so it hasn't reset to your voice yet. No, we can't really hear you at all. Okay. So I know that there's, on the bottom left by mute, there's a little caret. You can click in the settings, in the audio settings, and sometimes you can check and see, and you can make your microphone louder. This is the same kind of thing that I think Shelley needs to do.
What did you say, do, L'Oreal?
So by mute, there's a caret on the bottom left. Click the caret, and then in there are audio settings.
Okay. And
can you make your microphone louder?
Audio settings.
So there's input level on the screen, and you can slide it.
Yeah. Yep.
So make it a bunch louder and see if that.
Okay.
Oh, we're still having trouble hearing you. Oh, this is.
And it's not letting me do it. It's not letting me
The strangest thing. All right, so I'm just going to do the same thing. Oh, I don't have your phone. Oh, I can go find your phone number.
Wait a second. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Great. Okay.
Cool. I figured it out. I'm so proud of myself. Okay.
Switch microphones. Yeah, great.
Got it. Had to do it manually. There. So I always find it kind of interesting too when that kind of stuff happens, right? As I'm saying things. So that gives me a kind of an omen about something that's sort of that there's a little interference. There's a block here. It's like, what the heck is up with that? So what I was trying to say is that I feel like there is a conflict inside you about what you're manifesting right now. It's like, I want to do this, but I also want to do that. So what I want to encourage you to do is use the skills that you know that you have. First of all, remember to do your own breath work and breathe through this stuff, because one of these runes is about being frozen. Like, and you know, we've all had that frozen energy throughout the COVID experience, right? So I want to encourage you to do that, but also I'm really inspired I feel like there's something that is kind of outside of the box. And I feel like you can feel it too, that there's something that is a combination or a weird, it feels like something is about to shift for you. And that's what the runes are saying to me too, that if you can hone your manifestations, so if you were to look at inside yourself, okay, what I really want is I want to have a spiritual experience every day of my life. I want to be able to help people. I want to live in my authentic, true self in a way that I don't have to hide who I am with anybody ever again. And be able to hold those deep truths, say them out loud. I like to ask the mother, ask the mother earth for that help, whoever you like to invoke. Because I'm also seeing the first rune that I pulled was the heritage rune. This one is about family. This is about, and when I look at you and I feel family, it feels open. For, like, I don't know, there's kind of this vastness. And what I want to recommend to you is that in Portland, I think networking, creating a family, if it's not your genetic family, what can sometimes be called as a third family, you make your roots there. Because I think there's something in the networking of people to get out and socialize in a way that I know that and I know for people like us, it's hard to do that because we're sensitive and empathic, and it's hard to make ourselves get out there sometimes. But there's something about that. And then there's something, and there's a timing to this. So there's right timing and there's frozen. I feel that this fall, if you do this work, if you manifest, if you breathe, if you move the energy, you get really clear about what it is that you truly want. Because you can go from one job to another job, but if you don't get clear about the essence of the spiritual life that you really want to manifest for yourself, and how would that look? Do you really need a different job, or do you need it could even be the same job, but in a different framework? By that I mean that it feels like there could be something that it just shifts when you're working different hours or different people. Like there's something, it feels wiggly, like something's about to shift, and I just shift off. And this fall, whatever that means, I think something is going to be opening up for you, and you have to be centered enough and be able to breathe through that and be able to go, yes, grab it, that's it. Because these doors, they open and they close, they stay open for a little while, and you can walk through them or not. So you just need to be able to, it's like, I'm reminded by this wonderful halo you have around your head, that feels like the portal that is the embodiment of where you're just on the threshold of this. The things are coming, but how that looks is going to depend on your manifestation skills. And I'm always happy to help with that. And I know there's all these other beautiful people. I'm really happy to help you hone the manifestation asking of that, because that is going to, you're going to get what you ask for. So be careful what you ask.
Thank you.
Sorry, I flipped that around by mistake. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah. So Lorelei, you finished? Sorry, I cut you off a little bit before you. Okay, you're good. All right,
Thank you.
Susy's next.
So, hey, Sarah, you can pretty much put my face on almost everybody else's block there because every time somebody said something, it's like, that's what I wrote. So it seemed to me that this manifesting the new job came so easily and you're questioning it. But as so many other practitioners have said, you can manifest easily. And it's when you start to question it that you constrict the energy. So open up to it, define what it is you want. This job will keep you afloat until you can actually integrate into your energy practices. It's okay, trust, ask for help, and it's going to happen the way you want it to. Really, that's all I've got.
Thank you.
Great. Great. What else you said? Just practitioners. Anything else that you want to share before we? Anything else you want to share with Sarah? All right, great. Well, thank you, Sarah, so much for asking.
Oh, thank you. It was so helpful. I needed this. I really did. Thank you.
Yay. And I say too that we, if I don't, it got mentioned a little bit. We have so many different events. We have fairs. You're welcome to share your work in fairs. If your work fits in being on a panel, we have training panels. If you want to do that first, or you can jump in on a panel, so all kinds of stuff. So we want to make sure we have your email address and we'll send you information on all of our events too. So yeah, yay, more of us, yay. Great, you're welcome. All right, let's see. We've got Alex up next. All right, Alex, where are you?
Hi there, I'm here.
All right, I just have to find your photo so I can spotlight you. Do you have your video? Oh, it's up to you. If you want to turn your video on, I can spotlight you. You don't have to.
Oh shoot, no video right now. Sorry about that.
Okay, no, that's okay. All right, so let's see. I'm going to remove my spotlight and have the whole group. And then what is your question?
Awesome, thank you. Well, first I greet all the practitioners in the light and love of our infinite creator, because there's a lot of wisdom and a lot of energy here, and I'm feeling that and loving it. I am drawn to crystal skulls because I perceive crystal skulls to be a form of data storage, or a computer, so to speak. Like it holds, these crystals hold a lot of energy. They hold a lot of information. Some of the most high-tech computers we have in what we perceive to be modern technology has and utilizes crystals. So as of recently, I've been feeling various pings. I feel various encodements that I feel basically time capsules that I believe a past Atlantean self, an Atlantean incarnation of mine, left for the now moment. I'm connecting with what I believe to be a pyramid off the coast of Cuba. Just not sure why. I feel like I'm pinging a couple of crystal skulls that I left somewhere for safekeeping, as well as crystal fields. Like I think I planted crystals somewhere to eventually grow, because I perceive, and I did not coin this term, but crystals are the flowers of the mineral kingdom. Like they grow, they're very orderly. So I also have a very complex history with crystals. I had misused crystalline technology in the past, which helped catalyze the fall of Atlantis. So this is a paradox. I helped destroy Atlantis to create a fallen timeline so that we can all rise together. But I also left artifacts for my eventual discovery. Is that making any sense? So, so I'm in this now moment of trying to reconnect with these artifacts that are strewn elsewhere. And I don't feel the need to physically go to them. I feel like I can connect with them irrespective of time and place. So I just wanted to put a general question to you practitioners. How best can I align myself, or what steps can I take so that I may reconnect with the crystals that I believe want to connect with me? And how do we kind of facilitate that?
All right, great. I'm just getting the last little bits of that written in here. And then, all right, Henry's got something already here. Let's get Henry up to the front. All right, go ahead, Henry.
Okay, so this is really great, Alex. The card that I pulled from my oracle deck is just deep breathing. So can you see this?
Oh, I can. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
There's a very faint face.
Yes, there is a face. There's a face because that is what you're connecting with. That's like the ancestral line, and an ancestral, like even yourself, before the self that you are now. Does that make sense?
That's incredible. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay, like your Atlantean time, and then I get a really, really strong sense that you have had many incarnations. It's not a direct line from Atlantis to here.
Like a hopscotch, yes.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on, and hopscotch would not be the word I would have used, but I can see it because there have also been times when you've really gotten when you got sidetracked. And I think that you're still coming out of this, because there's consequences to being sidetracked. It gets somehow encoded in your spirit or your soul or whatever that is that we talk about that we can't explain, that science can't explain. And so this deep breathing is going to bring you into an altered state. Are you familiar with breathing? Do you do breathing now?
I do breath work. By default, I'm a shallow breather, but I have been consciously trying to do breath work.
Okay, great. So then I recommend that you do the breath work specifically to connect with these artifacts, because all of these artifacts have energy signatures. And these energy signatures, you can tune into them by putting yourself into an altered state. So most of the breathing we do is to raise the parasympathetic tone and to calm down and to get grounded. And that's a really great reason and a great way to use breathing. But I think in this case, it's specifically to alter your vibration. So what I recommend for you is that you sit in a space and sit there for a while before you start your breath work, just so that you can calm down, just so you can allow the space to align to you. So usually what we do is we align to the space, but in this case, I'm strongly seeing that you allow the space to align to you. So it's like basically strengthening who you are and not looking outside, but looking within. Like you being here is looking outside, and there's nothing wrong with it. But when you do this exercise, it's about looking within and trusting that you already have all the magic. Like if you look at a tarot deck, the second card is the magician, and so you no longer need to be a fool. You can be a magician now. The first card is the Fool, and so let the environment become used to you. Maybe have plants. I'm seeing plants. I'm seeing certainly your crystal skulls. I'm seeing water, very important. Like basically have the earth elements. If you can do this outside under the trees, that would be even better. So you can make a better energetic signature. And then think of the artifacts. And you may not know what they are now. And I don't think you need to know. I think all you need to do is just create your intention. Just show me, just say, show me, and just be open to that. But before you do that, create psychic protection for yourself. Are you familiar with how to do that?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
And then also consenting and not consenting to, because it's a big, messy astral world out there for sure.
Exactly, yeah. So you definitely want to do psychic. This goes for everyone. Before you do any of this work, do psychic protection, so you don't get visited and in ways you don't want to, or sidetracked in ways you don't want to. Yeah. So is this making sense to you? Do you feel like you're up for doing this?
Oh, very much so. I resonate greatly with that, and I have an impatient nature, so this is something I needed. Yes, thank you.
Okay, that's great. That's why I'm getting this really strong sense for you to sit there for a while before you even start the work. And this is like I'm seeing a coming down, just coming down. and getting connected and just connecting energetically with these artifacts, and that's what will show you what it is and how to use it and what to do with it and how to let it guide you.
Thank you. I love that.
All right, great.
Thanks, Henry. All right, Susie's next.
Hey, Alex. I am seeing that you were a priestess in the Atlantean time, and you felt you were helping your culture in that you were hiding these. There is feedback somewhere. It is disrupting her thoughts. You were an Atlantean priestess, and you placed these artifacts around. The pyramid was where you established your energy. If you would meditate with the Lemurian crystals, those harken back to a time before that you have brought forward. Yes, breath work is important for you also to draw energy, throw energy down into the earth and then bring it back up, and thereby shifting it in such a way that you can connect energetically to the crystalline structure about you and connecting to those skulls that you have. Yes, energetic connection is going to help shift you even at a DNA level so that you may continue the work, but because you have traveled through these lifetimes in which you have learned how to work with energy, you manipulate it, you can shift it about. You were part of the tribe who worked with the Aurora Borealis, and also the this one does not know the name for the southern Borealis, the Australis Borealis. That was some of your play when you were in Atlantis, and you would play with it, and you have left your mark there. It is in the manipulation of energy that you can shift. The impatience comes from that lifetime, and you have taken so many lifetimes to come to this moment to hopefully, if only to bring awareness to your impatience, but to hopefully soothe it so that you are able to connect as this Henry has said, taking the time to connect with it. It is in that assumption, that bringing in of the energy, that you will be able to shift better and more thoroughly, even down to the DNA. You will be remembering these lifetimes and those shaman lifetimes. You have had many of those healer lifetimes that were connected to the earth, medicine men, medicine women, and shaman over in the Nordic areas, in the polar region, the Arctic region, and down through into the Southern Americas. You have this energetic lineage. It is not necessarily for you to bring those all forward again. It is time for you to heal yourself from previous egoic stances. And it is this connection with these crystals that you have hidden, that your personality has hidden in those areas, to recreate a pyramid energy about you that will help you reconnect and to pick up where you left off at that time. Does this make sense?
Wow. Yeah, it does. And it confirms fleeting images that I feel like I've had. So, wow.
You will find more of these images coming forward during your meditations. They will be flashes, and then you may be able to replay scenes. And it's not just from the Atlantean lifetime back there, and even Galactic, your star family, will be reconnecting with you at this time because they feel you are now ready for this growth that you have established for yourself so many millennia before. Now, energetically, you are more ready for it.
Oh, wow.
Good. Blessings.
Blessings to you. My goodness. Thank you. Thank you.
Susy, all right, Lorelei.
So what I feel from you. So the first rune that I pulled is Gebo, and this is about things given and received. And like the other people that, the other mystics that gave you such profound guidance, I also feel that it's kind of stillness that is required of you. There is an ancient tradition in Tibet that has the Padmasambhava deity. He was like a Buddha that brought the lineage of Buddhism into Tibet, but he also hid many objects in the Himalayas, and people, Termas, have found those over time, and these holy men will find these in the weirdest places, like in the tops of mountains, and they know exactly where to dig, and nobody's been there before, and sometimes they're embedded in walls of buildings that have actually been already built, like just maybe 100 years ago, but these things are in the buildings, and they'll go and they'll just know, they'll have a sense of knowing, and they're just, you hear stories about people just following them, and they just start digging and climbing, and they find these things, and the interpretation of them is also done by the Termas, by the men that find them. So as you told the story, I was reminded about this tradition in Tibet that still exists to this day. Feeling that, yes, that it feels, and the second one is that I drew, there's these, and I'm reminded of mountains with this, and that I feel that for you, there's going to be this nudging feeling, just like it is with these other holy men in Tibet, that there will be this feeling like there's something that I have to do. I have to do it right now. I can't, it'll be so compelling that you will just have to stop and be still. It's like this, it's like a nudge. And I feel that if you were to go into a mountainous area, if that's possible, that the information would be received more readily for you, because these crystals feel to me, a lot of them, like they are in mountainous, not all of them, but some of them are in mountainous areas. And then the interpretation of them for you, taking this into your body, that as your physical bodies is becoming more and more, I hesitate to say like the frequency is getting higher so much as it is getting more complex. You're becoming more aware that it's becoming broader, is maybe a better word, but it's shifting and changing. Some people would say that the DNA is changing, but I don't like, I would think of it as the RNA, like there's pieces of your DNA that are getting switched on. And that switch, as that gets switched on, you're able to handle the energies of these artifacts, because these artifacts are powerful, and the information that comes through is only going to come through to you when you're able to actually translate it. So the more work you do with the stillness of this work, and through the stillness is where the spirits, your allies, your past life ancestors and your starseed ancestors are able to help your body become acclimated to receive this information. So your work in doing this is required, you have to figure out what kind of foods you need to eat, what kind of experiences you need to have. So it's going to be like that. You're going to see it. You're going to be compelled to do this, and it is going to be successful. But watch what you eat, watch what you drink, and pay attention to those nudges. Thank you.
That hits me as true. Thank you so much. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Lorelei. All right, Galactic Ashley is next.
Oh, and it unmuted me. Okay. I only have to press one button. Okay. Alex, you still have the Starseed podcast. Are you still doing that?
No.
All right. That's okay.
But I do. I feel a similar communicatory venture possibly formulating, but I'm trying not to manifest something into being before it's ready, if that makes sense.
Okay, no, that's fine. Then I won't tell everybody about it if it's not happening. That was the only reason why I was asking. Okay. So the so the first thing is to you can work with the sphere of a mentee. I'm just reminding you of that. And when you were talking, the other thing was to heal. It was the beings that Susy was channeling. They were saying the word manipulation of energy, and that is a phrase that feels like a subconscious trigger for you. So to look at the word energy manipulation and neutralize it into something that is that becomes neutral. And then the other thing that I am, okay, so a whole bunch of things. Sorry, I had to write a bunch of it down. So you have crystal skulls, right?
I have a crystal skull, yeah.
Okay. Does it feel Atlantean to you?
It does.
Okay, good.
The energy of it does, yeah.
Okay, so do you feel like a huge resonance with it?
I feel resonance with it. I wish it were stronger, if that makes sense. Or I'm like, it can be stronger. Am I editing myself out of it? Yada, yada, yada.
Okay. We can do something in the Meet the Galactics course to work on that because there's other people. Okay, so what I'm getting is to remind you and anybody else that is listening that aligns with this is that crystal skulls are the vehicles of Christ. So they are crystal communications and they reflect the Christed consciousness back to us, and to think about the term Christ and crystal and how similar they are, and that is for a purpose. To remember that when we look at the soul's experience of cataclysm, so the first thing is when you talk about Atlantis, it's beneficial to remember that there was more than just one cataclysmic event. There were at least 3 that are known at this time. So the soul's experience of cataclysm, it speaks not only of a physical cataclysm, but of a hyperdimensional one. So it's as if Atlantis sank into this quantum abyss, and the new timeline that came from it holds within its field almost no evidence of the previous one, and that you've had lifetimes that have experienced multiples of those cataclysmic events having to do with Atlantis. And there is still a Lemurian connection, because the first thing that I heard was to also get a Lemurian crystal and allow a Lemurian crystal to heal you, because you understand, there's a part of you that understands and remembers that it was the Lemurians that gave the Atlanteans the crystals to use, because they were the consciousness that was connected with the earth, and because the Atlanteans were so connected to the sun and the solar energies, they began to manipulate the energies of the crystals. And so there is a part of you that is trying to keep like this Lemuria essence away from you, but the key point for you is that there are multiple visions that you are having, and to allow them to come up and to connect with your cellular light. And so during a cataclysmic event, it is extremely, extremely challenging on the soul. So what happened during the Atlantean fall is that the beings literally it's like they heard go to sleep, right? Because they were encrypting and encoding the information of their etheric selves into the crystal. So your crystal skull that you have, which is Atlantean, will start to grow in resonance with you when you can release the judgment and remember that the shape of the skull is reflecting the Christed consciousness back at you, so that you can look into these lifetimes without judgment of yourself to observe them so that you can wake up. Because when the beings heard go to sleep, it wasn't in what you might think of it as in negative, like go to sleep, I can't believe we just did this, how could we have destroyed this very delicate matrix, but like to let our conscious, like you literally encoded crystals with your etheric consciousness, and that is what is reaching out to you right now. And so the crystal skull that you have is just reminding you not to hold judgment and to remember that it is a vehicle of the Christ, and as it is the vehicle of the Christ, so are you. So I'm glad that you don't feel the need to go to these specific places on the planet, but that your cellular body is like pinging out and connecting to them. And that when you allow yourself, you will be able to, I'm hearing the word harvest, you will be able to harvest yourself. Like you are harvesting yourself, and that information that you encoded in the crystals is waiting for you. And this is why a lot of these crystals are coming online right now, why crystal skulls are becoming so popular, why they're sort of spreading almost all around the earth. It's because there's so many people that have come back specifically during this time to recollect and recollect themselves, to bring these timelines up and to release them. And by doing that, we change the cataclysms from our history and we shift our future. And that is all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Galactic Ashley. All right, Shelley, and let's see, if we can't hear you, I'll call you right now. All right, looks like I'm calling you again.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. Yes, great. All right.
Okay. Hi, I'm so happy to connect with you. What I do in my Four Clairs class, which is a psychic development class, and my spiritual channeling class, I'm adding on how to connect to your crystal family. And there are 12, astrological signs, zodiac signs. So I tell you, have you select? You have to go to a crystal store, of course. That you select 12 crystals. These 12 crystals will have astrological. They will have planetary energy, because there are some crystals that are related to the planets. And then, of course, each sun sign has a crystal that's related to their astrological sign. And so I have you look up the information about the crystals for the astrological sign, so that you could pick the crystal that represents your sun sign. Then I have you look up the crystals for the planet, so that you could pick the crystal that represents your planet. So those are the two main crystals that are going to represent you, your astrological sign and your ruling planet. If you know your astrological chart, then you could get a crystal that rules your moon. And then you also can get a crystal that rules your rising sign. So those are the four main crystals, and you're going to put them in a circle. You're going to make a crystal grid. And when you're doing your meditation work or your crystal work, you want to have this grid on a table that's kind of like an altar. You connect. You're able to connect to the energy of the crystals. Their energy is, this crystals, what they do is transmit energy. And you are the receiver of the energy that is being transmitted. And this transmitted energy, you will get messages. So those are the four crystals. The other crystals, you want to, if you don't know who your spirit guides are, or who your guardian angel is, you know, you ask. You just simply ask, who are my spirit guides? Who is my guardian angel? You want to maybe have 4 other crystals that represent the 4 guardian angels: Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Michael. Sorry about that. So the other 4 crystals should represent the guardian angels. So that's 8 crystals. So the other 3 crystals, you just go to a metaphysical store or crystal store where you put your hand over a crystals that you are drawn to feel the energy. And whatever crystal is calling to you that has the strongest energy, that is resonating with you, you add those crystals to your crystal grill. Sorry about that. I don't have great English. And so this is something you want to create. You want to put this on get a purple velveteen, maybe velveteen is type, a purple cloth. You want to put this on a cloth. You want to put this on the table, which becomes your altar. And this is your crystal family. And you want to meditate every day by putting your hands, feeling the energy of the crystal, and letting your guides and angels give you messages for your spiritual growth. So thank you for allowing me to share that to you. And I'm so happy you joined the meetup panel. What an interesting question you had.
Thank you. And I feel like I'm connecting with, you guys are spiritual luminaries and giants. Wow, I scribbled away. I'm gonna have to rewatch this like 3 more times. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And Henry wants to share something else too. Henry, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so I got a really strong hit. I'm a little uncomfortable saying it because I'm not sure it's true, so I hope it's true for you. I got the really strong hit that there's some guilt going on. Is that true?
Yeah, it's embedded. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like past life.
Exactly, past lives, and that you have taken it on as like a kind of atonement.
Yeah, like, I mean, the cries of a civilization is large, right? And I feel like I've carried that for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And so what can happen is that, see, I took some notes. What can happen is that it ends up being, oh, here they are. So this is what I got fed, okay? Live an epic life. So now I think you should write this down because this was straight fed to me. Live an epic life, not to aggrandize, but to be of service.
Wow. Oh my God. Yeah.
And so the interesting thing is it didn't say what you would be aggrandizing. So I think there's a little bit of work for you to do to get clear on that, because obviously we always think, am I aggrandizing myself? But it also might be something about Atlantis and about all this work that you have been doing. So it's more than just about your own personality. And the cards that and I'm going to try and make this short. The cards that I pulled with that first, I got the higher view.
Oh, wow, I see it. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if it'll sharpen. Sometimes
it's like an owl and a
somebody
feminine character.
Owl. Yeah, exactly. So taking a higher view. So you think, when you think about the lives and Atlantis and the role you've played, that's a pretty high view, but there's another higher view, because you can get lost in, like, when you look at the divine, right? Like, what is running everything? What is the ground of all being? Then the story of Atlantis is very small in comparison. So I feel like the story right now is taking up more of a centerpiece than it needs to. So integrate it with the larger story, because there's not just this world, right? It's like, I mean, this planet is very, very important to this planet and to everything that grows on it, like you and me, but it's not the only planet. And so, of course, I got to quiet the mind yet again, quiet the mind. So that yet again. And then I got, when this came up last time too, the rose of life. So what I take that to mean is getting into your body. Does that speak to you?
It does, because I feel very highly developed, open with my crown chakra, very dormant with my lower chakra. It's like once bitten, twice shy type of thing.
There you go. That is your big, big, big word. So work. So you can live this epic life, not to aggrandize, but to be of service. Being of service comes from your body, not from your mind. Your mind is abstract. And that's where great ideas occur, great stuff. But the service, the putting something in your hand and giving it to feeding another, that comes from your body. Your body understands that. So I think that for the next quite a long time, just draw to you everything. And that's the last thing I'm going to say. Just draw to you everything that you can come across that helps you get into the body, which really what that means is like do some research on how much of your DNA in your body is not yours. You're familiar with this, right? The microbiome and all the microorganisms that live with us.
Yes.
Like 80% or some 60 to 80% of the mass of our bodies is someone else's DNA. So like learn to like honor and love and care for and cherish this body as its own being that you're in symbiosis with so deeply that neither you nor the other beings that are with you in your body could survive without each other. So this is like a great sacred union. And so I think when you look at that, then this is going to help you to get into your body, because actually it's not just your body.
Wow, I'm blown away.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Henry, for your response. And thank you so much, Alex, for your question and your receiving answers from all of us. Yeah, I got to get down there and get all the recordings uploaded. So, thank you. All right, so Shayla, not sure how to pronounce it, is next. Let's see, Shayla. If you want to turn on your video, I can spotlight you. It's up to you. Oh, there you are. All right, great. So you mentioned a little about your question. You want to share it with us and share any subtleties of your question?
Right now, I am, I guess, just trying to find my purpose. Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right, great. I'm going to jump in and just share a little bit about your eyes as other people are getting ready to share. So in your eyes, the talents that I see, and there's information on my website, and I can put a link in the chat. They're called Scholar and Priestess, and probably Artisan. So the first most important one is Scholar. It's about absorbing information to build knowledge and share knowledge. So it's like digging deep, playing in like a messy sandbox of information and you're mapping it and making sense of it. So it's learning, and it's often teaching or using your knowing to answer questions for others. And it can be just a topic that you're so interested in and delve into and that you end up sharing with others as part of that. I know that Priestess is about emotions. So very different from Scholar in that way. Priestess is often the most intuitive. It's about seeing not only what's here, seeing what's possible. It's about inspiring and motivating people to stretch and reach for what's possible. So using emotions to pull people forward. And you have it second, I think. And so when it's second, well, you want to be good on your impact out in the world. Primarily it gets directed inwards. And so you see for yourself, I need to grow, I need to be better, I need to do more. So you have a tendency to be harder on you than you are on others. Is that true? Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
I say one of the big lessons of Scholar is to trust your knowing. One of the big lessons of Priestess second is to speak to yourself internally as optimistically and encouragingly as you do to others. Right? And then Artisan is about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. So it's about exploring the edges of what's known and bringing in new ideas and experiences for others.
Okay.
So the combination together, Scholar, Priestess, Artisan, it's bringing in some kind of knowing, often knowing that's some unusual kind of knowing or an unusual context, and sharing the information to uplift people, to help people grow. You have a lot of capacity and intuition, but your mind can get in your way sometimes and help hold back your intuition. But so it's this juggle of like intuitive and knowing. And You can work with people and uplift people as individuals and groups. Like you have a lot of capacity with that. It can be in business as managing people, but you do have a lot of natural intuition. And so it can be more in a field of supporting people to grow emotionally, or, all kinds of different readings or healings and things like that. You have just natural capacity to all those kinds of things. So that to me is the direction of your purpose. It's got to have something that's interesting, pleasurable to you, that might be different and unusual, or that has some variation in it, something that's uplifting of others. And you're endlessly like trusting yourself and encouraging yourself and being optimistic with yourself. So something you really believe in. It's true for everyone, but particularly with priest, priestess, and it's about knowing, right? And building new knowing. So it's got to be where you're really enjoying the learning and the knowing, mapping it together. Yeah. So that's
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, great. And Henry and I both love to do this in terms of purpose. So that's what Henry and I are like the first ones up here. All right, go ahead, Henry.
So is it Shala or Shayla?
Shayla.
Shayla. So good to see you, Shayla.
Nice
Okay, so I was hoping that the cards would say purpose, but they're not saying that, which this is my specialty, but they're not saying that. They're saying some really simple things like so basically what they're saying is that the groundwork has to be laid for the purpose. So even if you now know what your purpose is, you're not able to access this until you've done more work on healing your heart. Does that speak to you?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes when we jump onto our purpose, it's a way of not having to deal with what there is to deal with. Because sometimes it's like, well, even if I try to deal with it, how am I going to deal with that? When we look at the ills of the world, I can try, but this isn't going to work. So there is a way for you to heal your heart. And then listen to the call of the muse. So what does that mean to you? Like listening to what inspires you, listening to what gives you goosebumps, listening to what gets your attention over and over. Like, why am I paying attention to this? I should write this down in my journal. I paid attention to this. Oh, why did this bring me to tears? Oh, let me write down the thing that brought me to tears. That's how you hear the call of the muse. What interests you, what moves you, what gives you physical, like visceral responses like goosebumps or breathing. Those are the things that tell you what you care about. Like your body knows what, it's interesting, the body comes up again. Your body knows what you care about. Whether you may not believe that now, I'm not sure if you believe that, but if you start listening to your body, like the body gives the signals. Mm-hmm. and then do that to the point of fullness until you're like, okay, I have so much information now. I've taken painstaking notes, like on your phone or in a journal, painstaking notes of every time that you got positively triggered. That is listening to your muse, listening to the positive triggers until you're full. And then that will show you really clearly what you care about and really clearly what incites your passion. Because so often when we say, I want to know what my purpose is, it's because we've disconnected from our purpose. It's like we're born with our purpose, if you will. I mean, in ultimate reality, the purpose is just to be born, right? But there's more to it. There's also doing something with, we have this life now, the divine is now manifested as me, as Shayla, what do I want to do with that now? So, right? So if you've disconnected because some voice said you can't do that, and then you went, oh, I can't do that, boom. Now you don't know what your purpose is because basically you have this table full of opportunities, but the one thing you care about is not on the table. So you can jump around on all of this and none of this is going to connect with you. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So that's why listen through your body, because your body still knows the truth. Your mind may have created narratives of what you can't have. That's that for all of us. This gives me goosebumps. So I think this is an important one for you. And I think what will help is, here's the ground of all being. What will help is, are you familiar with this term, ground of all being?
No.
Okay, so it's a really wonderful term, and I would just recommend that you research it. Ground of all being. Tillich, Tillich, is the one who I forget his first name, who coined the phrase. Sorry, who coined that phrase. And sometimes you'll see the connection. The connection is to Hinduism, and in Hinduism, it's described as Atman or Brahman, the ground of all being, from which everything arises. So this showed up here. This is a really important card in my life. So I have deep respect for it. So what I recommend is that you do research on what this means, because it will open up a world for you. Since you have not heard this term before, I can't wait for the sweetness that you will encounter when you start researching that. And it'll make your question of what is my purpose so much richer. And it'll make it so rich until the fruit falls out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Henry. We've got Susie up next.
Hey, Shayla.
Hey.
I wrote it down. It all just came out. And so I just want to whenever anybody asks me what their purpose is, your purpose is to love, to heal, and to serve. You are being asked to look at yourself, and there is fear surrounding what you might find. There is fear surrounding the fear. But trust us, and I'm talking with the guides too, that you are not alone, and you're not ugly or evil. You are worthy of the healing and the love that you have within you. I feel that you have this huge heart ready to burst open, but you're blocking it because of experiences, because of maybe not even knowing what you have, not knowing what you don't know. So you're opening the door. This question opens the door so that you can start to walk along this path of love. You have the strength. You really do. On those days when you don't think you do have the strength, and you have, I'm trying to read what I wrote, and you get to call on your courage. Call on your inner courage. Call on that little bit of yourself that will stand forward, that will not give up. And stand with yourself and stand with your soul. But you are worthy, you are deserving, and you are divine. You are directly from Source. That's your purpose, is to express Source in the Shayla way.
Thank you.
Right. And I just put in the chat too, Finding Joe is one of my favorite tools. It's actually a movie it's a short movie for helping you find your purpose. It's all based on Joseph Campbell, which Henry mentioned too.
Thank you.
And Lorelei's next.
Hi. When I close my eyes and tune into your spirit, what I see is this beautiful image of this person with a staff and a ball of light, and you're walking against the wind. Like there's this blast of wind, and you've got this light in the staff, and you're just able to penetrate that light. Penetrate that wind and that darkness with this staff in your hand, with this light. And it feels sometimes like you're alone in the darkness. And what I see behind you are your ancestors that have this strength, this will, and this power. And that is what you need to draw on and get in touch with that power, because you're not alone. They are pushing you forward, and you are there. And when I ask, what is this person's purpose? It is that with the ancestors, you're another step in pushing that light forward. And you do this in a way that is not, there's a will and a strength and a grace that is unwavering. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That it doesn't matter what you do. I do see it's like, mundane things like getting a job and making money, but within all of these things, it is this keeping that light going, because there's like this it's like, oh, it's not, you have the, you are what your ancestors wanted to be. You have this power that they're just like, they're just, you know, so if you feel kind of pushed to do something, it's because they're behind you. Honey, you got this. Honey, you got this. You know this. Girl, you got this. Yes, come on. And they're just like, you know, come on. I can just see them. They're like these no nonsense people that are just like, I love your family, by the way. They're just like, yeah. And your smile, that lights up a room. If you want to talk about a purpose, it's like, you know what? There's something fun about that. When you walk into a room, when you walk into a job, when you interact with people, they're like, whoa, it's like this light, it's like that, it's intense. So anyway, it's not very specific, I know, but I want you to know that your ancestors, they don't just have your back, but they're like hugging you from behind. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lorelei. All right, Shelley is next. You're unmuted. We might be able to hear you.
Am I unmuted?
Yep, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
Hi.
Sheila.
I pulled some cards for you. And this is a card of Venus. And Venus is birth, and Venus is also love and creativity. And, you know, so I'm feeling that your purpose is that I feel that you're very creative. I pick up a lot of creative energy around you. And I feel that one of the things you're meant to do is to write. Have you thought about writing either a journal, a book? All right, you should look and you should maybe look into that because I feel that you are very intuitive, that you are very empathic, and that your guides and angels are wanting to communicate through you. Okay. So it's your purpose. So one of your purpose is to be creative and to be open to receiving new ideas, because this is kind of a time where you're opening up psychically and that ideas are coming to you. And I think often when messages come to you, sometimes you end up blocking it because you say, that can't be right. And you have to stop blocking it because your angels and guides are communicating to you. And they are giving you ideas, because I feel that one of your purposes in this lifetime is that you're supposed to be working for yourself. Is that something you've been wanting to do?
No, but it was something that came to me a few months ago, and I was like, well, what do? I didn't know what to do. Or
I feel that you will probably be working with two women. Okay. That there'll be somebody that will come to you with an idea for a job, for working together, and it seems to involve something that is helping, that involves helping other people. Yeah, so it'll come to you because the spirits are guiding you to these two women that are looking for someone to work with them. And I feel you're going to get involved in this business with these women. At first, you're going to be hired. It's a new job, and you'll be hired, and you'll be working with these women. And then within a 5 or 6 month period, they're going to offer you a partnership. So that's coming up for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also feel your purpose, because this is a card that represents children. I feel that you have children, and I feel one of your purposes in life is to be able to help children, whether it's counseling them or healing them or teaching them. You're meant to be around children. You're meant to share your knowledge and your wisdom with children? I feel you have children.
Yeah, I have children. And I know a few years ago, I actually thought about like volunteering with kids, and I kind of stopped myself and I didn't do it.
This would be good for you to work with kids and volunteer with kids. So your purpose is to help children, to teach children, to guide children. Your other purpose is to be able to be open to the ideas that Spirit is giving you and to create.
Okay.
So I just wanted to share that with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Shelley. All right, Galactic Ashley's next.
And this is just really quick. I fully align with everything that Henry said. And so one of the things that I wanted to add to that was another way that we can sometimes understand what our passion is about the things that make us really like impassioned, like angry almost, like the things that we want to go out and like protest against, the stuff that makes us really mad. So it isn't necessarily, the message isn't to go out there and create anger or that. It is about when something happens and you feel like you really want to stand up for someone, or you want to help, or you feel drawn to do something, or you become angry. That's still an energy. And so within that, there's going to be something that needs to be healed in that too, but also that there are little elements that are also pointing and helping guide you to your passion, which will be part of your purpose. And then to kind of release, and I don't actually think this is necessarily you at all, but a lot of times, and this absolutely isn't you, but I'm just saying this for other people, a lot of times people get stuck on what is my sole purpose? I want to go live in the mountains completely outside of society, and I only want to work part-time, but I want to make $1 bazillion, and I don't want to feel anything negative, right? And so I think Carolyn Mace calls it the modern mystic, and I feel like you are here to embody that in being a mother and working with children and doing all of these things, and to sort of anchor your light, and like what Lorelei too said about the bringing your smile in, and then when you start doing that and noticing how when you walk into a room you're able to shift the energy through small acts of kindness, which are really huge energetic shifts in the room. Once you start noticing that, then things will start showing themselves, and you will start realizing, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I can do that. So then you can express gratitude, and then things start coming more online for you. But it feels like you're very like in the flow of things. And then the one thing that I got was about having detachment from unhealthy situations through practicing non-reaction, which really means experiencing divine neutrality to things. So like, this storm is not my storm, which is a mantra that's been coming up, especially right now, because chaos is all around us, and sometimes it's so close to us that you can like feel it. And so when you're able to open your heart and just be present and give when you have the energy to give, and then realize this storm is not my storm and I am the eye of the storm, so you can have this calm through the chaos. It doesn't mean that you don't feel or that you're experiencing numbness, but to practice sovereignty, autonomy. And then when Lorelei too was talking, your ancestors are not asking you to transmute their histories. I feel like they are taking care of it, and they are supporting you to move forward because you are here to live what they fought for.
Thank you.
And to live smiling, right? And that's some people's sole purpose, right? So how difficult to come to this planet at this time, and your purpose is joy. Right? While everything is crumbling, and it's not to distract people, it's to bring joy and love, and then for you to apply bringing joy into finding your purpose is going to bring it that much faster.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is all.
That's great. Thanks, Galactic Ashley. Yeah, I guess, and I didn't say with when I was sharing too, my basic philosophy is that when we do what we love, when we feel energy for something, like when we feel more energy from doing that thing, that's our passion, that's our purpose. So that's in alignment with our purpose. So it's the thing we love, we feel joy, we feel energy, often time shifts, and we could do more and more of it. And that's where our purpose is. And then often there's like giving ourselves permission to do that in a practical way in the world. And yeah, talking with other people and helping get ideas and getting out of our fears of like how, oh, I couldn't do that. Yeah, it's helpful. Great.
Thank you all.
I loved everyone's answers. Yeah, thank you so much, Shayla, for asking, letting us share. All right. Let's see. Oh, Henry has something else. Did you have something else, or is your hand still up from before? Did I not take it down? Go ahead, Henry. What did you want to share with Shayla?
Yeah, Shayla, I've been watching you, because you've been on Spotlight. And the sense I get of you is that you are so effing powerful, like crazy level. It's not crazy, but like off the charts. There you go. That's the right, because don't want to impugn anybody who's okay. I hate that word. I'm trying not to use it, but like off the charts. It's like I'm looking at you like, how could you possibly be asking what your purpose is? It's like written on you. It's like, I'm not trying to get you as a client, but I know that if I were to work with you, it's all there right in front. Let's just look at you. It's all there. So look in the mirror. Are you familiar with mirror work? This might be the ticket.
I've read about it, but I haven't actually tried it yet.
Well, this might be the ticket for you, like get really intimate with your power, because it might be that you're not really looking at your power. That you because the world is not necessarily reflecting that back to you.
Mm-hmm.
It might be resisting you.
It's you feeling joy and love about what you see in the world around you and the potential you see in the world, and you shining your energy out in that way. That's what your purpose is.
Yeah, so I would look in the mirror and make eye contact and just say, what are you trying to tell me? What do you want to tell me? Because it's all right there. You are super, super powerful, like shockingly so. So
impactful. And I'd say powerful is impactful on the energy of the people around you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. So like goddess level, right? So that's the hit I'm getting off of you. And are you aware of this?
I've heard the term goddess before. But I guess because I just started all of this in March, I'm just kind of trying to find my way right now. So
look in the mirror. It's right there in your eyes and in your body.
Galactic Ashley was hearting too while you were sharing, Henry. That's why I put Galactic Ashley up too. And Henry, also, I just I know some of you have to leave. So thank you so much, Shayla, for your question. Some of us have to leave at the end of the hour. So maybe Henry, did you want to share your contact info? And then that way you're here, you're not here. I'm not sure like how much you'll be in for the next section. And any other practitioners that have to leave, this is probably a great time to do that. And then we'll go on to, we've got Cecilia. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Bari, and Drea. We have questions still. So yeah, Henry, did you want to share?
Yeah, I'm so sorry I can't be here, but this was a little bit last minute, so I didn't have extra time. Well, I am Henry India Holden. I can be reached at henryindiaholden.com. My areas that I specialize in are twofold, and they're also interconnected. Helping people with their life purpose or hero's journey and what the steps are to develop the steps of how to actually manifest it. And then also helping people develop or deepen their connection with the divine in a way that aligns with the divine, how they are experiencing it. And I have an event special, $30, 30 minutes, or $50, 50 minutes, which is 33% off my regular price. And even if you make an appointment at another time, if you refer back to this is how we've met, and I make that event special available to you. And you can get a hold of me through Henry at henryhello.com. That's my email, or henryindiaholden.com. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. It's been just wonderful seeing you all and just expanding all this. I'm sure most of us are a little tired. Well, I can't speak for everyone, but I really put it out there. And I'm tired. So you guys have a wonderful time. And now I got to do some more work. And love, hugs. Kisses, hugs to everyone.
Thanks,
And
Henry.
thank you for the privilege. And Lorelei, thank you so much for the privilege of you creating this.
Oh, you're very welcome. Here, I'll put all of us up in here. All right, practitioners, who else needs to share now? Go ahead, Susie, wanted to say something, and I know Shelley wants to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, my friend keeps popping. It's kind of fun playing Whack-A-Susie with the mouse. So I'm Susie Parker Goins of Blue Lightning Healing and Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. I am so honored to be here and to be a part of this group. I love it tremendously. I am a channel. I am an energy healer, past life explorer. I host a podcast called Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. You can find it on all sorts of things, or you can just go to my website at bluelightninghealing.com, and I've got a podcast page where you can click on links for that. And you can reach me at Susy, that's SUSY, at bluelightninghealing.com. And my special for this event is 20% off my regular prices. I've got a code in there. It's MeWe, MEWE 20. And that's good till the end of August. So thanks so very much. Blessings to everybody. And thanks. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Susie. All right, then Shelley, did you have to take off at the half hour? Did you want to share too? Oh, you're muted though. Let's get you unmuted.
Hi, this is Shelley. I enjoyed this event. This is my favorite event. Lorelei and Gino are the nicest people to work with. And I just want people to know that I have many areas that I specialize in. I'm a tarot reader, clairvoyant, medium, pet psychic. I do past lives, aura palmistry, and palmistry. And I have a radio show, the Psychic Horizon radio show. And so I'm a radio host since 2011. And my special is $30 for 30 minutes and $50 for an hour. And you could reach me at 818-744-5241 or go to my website, psychicshellyhofberg.com. Everyone have a blessed weekend.
Thanks so much, Shelley. All right, got her updated special there in the chat. All right, so let's see, we've got 3 more questions. So we've got Cecilia, and I don't know how to pronounce your name. Barry, we'll find out. And then Drea. All right, so Cecilia, if you want to have your video on, I'll put you up here on Spotlight. It's totally up to you.
No, it's okay. I'll just do the voice.
Yeah, what is your question?
Yeah, so I guess my question was that my brother passed away unexpectedly 2 weeks ago, and he was 16. And I was wanting to connect to him, or just to see, I guess, to ask if he had a message for my family and me. I wish I could have talked to him and seen him before he passed.
We're saying, practitioners, if we don't have enough specialty for the question that someone asks to, we always can give a refund. Just know that that's here. Yeah, and we might have, yeah, just Cecilia, we might have enough here. Yeah, Lorelei, go ahead. Lorelei's muted, so just whenever she's ready, I want to make sure she unmutes. Okay.
Am I supposed to go first, or is...
You go ahead. Yeah, Lorelei, go ahead.
So I'm just going to give you the images that I have. The image that I have of your brother is one, it's kind of, I don't know, it's like a, I feel, I want to say it's like a snaky energy. It's kind of, not like it's sway. There's something about swaying that I feel. And I feel a kind of a sense of deep frustration and anger about this death, and almost like a disbelief, like, you know, you've got to be fucking kidding me kind of thing. So I don't know exactly what happened. I'm just going to tell you. I don't always understand the images that I see or that I perceive here.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't know if he talked like this a lot, but I get a lot of cursing from him, and like he wants like you are just so fucking awesome. So, excuse my language, but I'm just telling you the energy of what I you know, that you are just like, you are so hot, and you're just so amazing, and you are, it's like, you know, it's funny because it's like I feel the love for you, but that's not the words he uses. There's not, he doesn't say I love you. It's not, it's more like there's this sort of energy around this that I feel that's just like he can't quite speak his mind. He can't say what he wants to say, but he thinks you are awesome. And I feel a sorrow at this, and I feel a sorrow at the funeral. I feel like I feel the sorrow around this, and I'm seeing a red car. I'm seeing videos. I'm like video games, and I'm seeing a red car, and there's something about this red car that's really disturbing, and not disturbing exactly. Significant, something that he really wanted, he's not going to have. And so I guess I don't, I can't tell from him if it's like, this stuff feels like it was more, like he knew it was coming, but yet he didn't. It's still unexpected, but there was a part of him that knew, yet it's still unexpected.
Yeah, it makes sense because he was I guess maybe hanging out with the wrong crowd of people, or just not like on the right path, maybe.
And
so I had this fear that something would happen.
He also, he's okay. He's okay. Don't worry about him. He's like, it's not what you expect, but he's okay. And he's got your back. He's got your back, sister. He's got your back. You have a guardian angel now. Yes, you do. You have a guardian angel, and he is there for you. And any guy that messes with you is gonna just like, they're gonna get an earful from him. Like, you have protection from him.
Yeah, that was kind of, or the kind of person he was. He's always like looking out for everyone.
Yeah, he's still doing that. So I want you to know that he's becoming the guardian angel of you and of your family. He's just going to watch out for you. He's still very powerful, and he's so angry, and he's like, but so I feel like there's some healing here for him that would be useful at some point. And at some point that, because I feel like he's in the more of the ghostly realm rather than the ancestor realm. He feels.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. And that he, at some point, you might want to talk to somebody, me or one of these other people here, to kind of help him out a little bit. Okay. And anyway, I'm gonna let that go. I can go on and on, but I feel like I need to pull back because I don't want to take too much time. So I'm
Yeah.
cool with that.
Go ahead, Galactic Ashley. Galactic Ashley.
Can you tell me what his name is?
Dominic Pickens.
Okay, that's fine. I kept on hearing the word mark for some reason, so I don't know if there's a mark in your family, if there's even a mark at all.
I don't know if it maybe is a friend or someone, but
okay, and it might just mean something like he's made his mark in kind of a way.
oh yeah, yeah, he was about to get signed and like do music, and he was, yeah, like doing, I guess, really well. I guess you could say made his mark right before he left. He had just got a car and
So one, I'm really sorry. There has been a lot of energies that have been coming in, and there's a lot of people that are choosing to leave this planetary plane, obviously from a different dimensional perspective and from another layer of themselves, which is easy to say until somebody within your family is one of those people or somebody that you're very close to, right? So I recognize that saying those words is like meaningless sometimes. But it's also can be beneficial to remember that we are multi-dimensional beings, and this experience sort of rolls into another one. I will go ahead and tune in after and check on his soul, and I can send you a message. So the one of the main things. So I also I also heard like I am 16 going on 80. And the world felt very slow, and he feels very limited in the physical form.
yeah, I think what he accomplished maybe will take some people years to do, and he probably did it like in 16 years.
Right.
Yeah, he was pretty smart.
And that's amazing that you have language, lyrics, and sound vibrations that have been left. And I don't know if you have access to any of that, and if it could go on YouTube, because the work that he was doing feels important, even if the language or the lyrics or the sound doesn't necessarily resonate with you. Embedded with that is information and messages that can help other souls transport themselves beyond and through choice points. Because the other thing that came up was that there were multiple choices that led to this choice point. But ultimately, like this keeps coming through. There's frustrations coming from the limitations of that in this human form. Like it feels extremely limited. So when he says I'm 18 going on 80, it's 18 going on like 80 million soul. Like it's a soul level. So it's like I think he really felt a lot of times many of us can come in with memories from other dimensional realms in here, and we don't understand why we can't create at the speed of light. So it's like we expect that, and then we're faced with this earth plane. And he was here in a lot of ways to bring light into shadowy areas, which is one of the reasons this is why I was hanging out with those people, is because my purpose was to be present and to bring heart into areas where no one dares to tread, and that you don't even necessarily know half of what he saw, but that was part of his purpose to be here. And that he was opening the hearts of those people that he was with, and that ultimately was shifting and changing. The other thing is I don't know how you were raised or how many of you there were, but you said that he was very protective, and he was pointing out that it is up to you to assume the role of the matriarch. So it's almost like, I don't know if you had to be the parents when you were growing up and you kind of relied on each other, even though he's like your little brother, right?
Yeah.
It's like you are now the matriarch, and you are here to embody. He's like, the world needs messages, and I brought the messages, and I made my mark, and I did what I needed to do, but you are here to embody the creations, and that through his closure in his lifetime, while it seemed sudden and dramatic, it is an opportunity to bring your family together into some sort of consensus, or there's some sort of there's an opportunity there. It can be a uniting and a consensus, or at least you can hold the space and allow people to choose what they're going to choose, and not control the situation, but just to embody the matriarch energy. That seems to be the message from him, and that he will support you on that. And he is much more, I'm not necessarily getting that he's stuck, but I think there's part of him that's still hanging around. I will tune into that, but the bigger thing that I'm getting is that once he's gone through the space in between, he will be more present as a being of light that is working with you, and that is easier for him. So sometimes people will choose to come here to have an embodied experience within a physical family that is also part of a soul family, and that he is at the level where he can come back as a guardian type figure, so that he can help support you through the matriarchy while you grow your wings. It's like I see him standing behind you with these light wings. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. That is.
Yeah.
And I say I connect more with you than I do with him. Just it's more like I connect more typically on this plane, and I see your photo, so I'm working with your eyes as I see them in your photo. I think that you're like one of your talents is priestess. I described it earlier. It's about inspiration, vision, passion, motivation. It's about using emotions to move things forward, to create alignment. And I think probably so you naturally inside ask the questions of purpose and why. You know, how does his dying now serve a purpose for him or for those of you that are still here? And does that resonate with you? Like you're wanting to know that?
Yeah, no, definitely trying to figure out, like what it all means now. Yeah, for sure.
So part of the paradox of this talent is trusting the process and trusting the journey, and that even though you don't know, knowing that it does serve a purpose. Yeah, how much older are you than him? You're 10 years?
Yeah, I would say like 10.
Yeah.
A lot older.
Yeah, you feel like you have a lot of acceptance of it in your voice, like you feel a lot of spaciousness of it. Does that feel true too?
Yes, that's very true. I guess the part that kind of hurts is just kind of like how he passed what hurts me more, and just that I didn't get really to see him. Like, I don't know, I wish I would have been able to see him before. And it just kind of happened suddenly. So it's just that.
Yeah. Are there it's interesting. Yeah, Laurel had seen a red car. And you said he just had gotten a car. Just wondering about the red.
Red was his favorite color. Yeah, that was his favorite color. And also, when she was saying he was cursing, I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, he didn't curse to me. But then Ashley was talking about, his music, or like if he's left something behind, and he did in his music. That's how he expressed himself. Sometimes with cursing. I feel like lately I've noticed, I don't know, I've just gotten like, I guess, little messages, or I've seen like his name come up here and there, or things like that. And so that's just made me, I guess, more at peace. Just not knowing kind of what happened and stuff. And I guess, and just it happened so suddenly, it's kind of a little hard, but
yeah. I knew that my mom might die, and at the same time it was very sudden, and so definitely the reverberation of the suddenness, like it gradually fades. It gradually faded for me, but yeah, it's there. And I mean, maybe if anything, his message for you is don't hold back. Like you're already doing great, but like don't hold back. Like let the energy of the intention of the way he was moving forward so quickly, he was almost rushing. So not to rush, but don't hold back. Like live fully.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, really inspired me, if anything, to do that.
Mm.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for asking. All right. Let's see. So next we have, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Bari. And it's up to you if you want to come on.
You were saying it right. It was Barry.
Barry. Okay, great. All right. You're up here with us.
Hi.
Hey, what is your question?
Okay, so I have recently moved back to Atlanta. I felt pulled to come back to Atlanta. And I've been trying to settle down and get my own place, but I haven't been able to. And I'm trying to figure out what direction I'm being guided to go in. I feel like I came here from my dad, like the other night, maybe like 2 weeks ago. An angel came to me in my dream and told me to bring him home, but I was needing clarification on bring him home how, like what type of home are you talking about? Bring him home to his hometown, bring him home to my house. I don't have a place. I stay with somebody because I'm not able to find a place at this moment, or bring him home as in like transition. So I'm needing like guidance. I'm asking for like guidance on what direction to go in while I'm here. And like, yeah, what way are they trying to pull me towards?
Well, I'll just jump in a little bit. So one thing that just is, I can't see your eyes, but I feel it in your voice and the way you're sharing, is that community is really important to you. So, and not just with your father, but community of just the other people around you. And I just think it's important that you're not the only one caring for your father. You need to feel a supportive community. So you need to be in a place where you feel the strength and the connection. And it may be, you said going back to Atlanta, but where you live in Atlanta, if you're staying there, it's the same thing. You really want to feel the support of the community. And so it sounds like he needs to move towards where that is for you to be supportive of him. So does that resonate?
Well, I feel like I was, no, it doesn't that much. Only because he can't come to me, only because he's sick. He has Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I do feel like I don't, it is a lot for me because I never grew up having a relationship with him. And to come back and he doesn't really know who I am, but I know my intuition. I go off of guidance. And it's like, okay, you want me to come back here to help him, but how? I don't even know how. Like I'm getting a blockage of like getting information on how they want me to help him. Is it just like energetically, but I don't feel like it's energetically or spiritually, because I can do work in different dimensions. I don't know if this makes sense. I don't know how to describe it to people, but I can do work without even being near you. But the fact that I've been called to come down here is like, do you want me to take care of him? If so, how? Or is it just, I have no clue. I don't know why I'm here. And maybe I'm wrong about the reason why I'm here. Maybe it's not him, but yeah.
But just it's something about connecting energetically with community just seems so important for you. Mm-hmm. So it's mostly that I don't want you to in any way to sacrifice yourself and go off your path to take care of him. So that would be the big. So, and it's to maybe more like an energetic invitation to him. It can be that you, right? So he is physically there, right? So that's why you're wondering, like, yeah. I mean, it can be being with him physically and present with him physically in some ways too, but that doesn't, it's just so that he's in whatever ways so that he might be aware of the invitation, but he has to be the one that chooses to step in towards it. Yeah. And just for me, for you, like the community around you and being in a place where you really appreciate the people that are around you and that you feel energetically welcomed and supported and that you can really be you and the people that you're near. So go ahead. I think, yeah, Lorelei and Galactic Ashley.
Thank you.
It muted you. We can't hear you. Unmute. Yeah.
See, you had a dream about an angel calling, saying that he needs to go home. Did I hear that right?
I want to say it wasn't a dream. I was having a dream, and the angel interrupted the dream to tell me the message.
I just wanted to be, I thought that's what I heard you say, but I wanted to be clear about that because when I tune into that, what I feel like is, so normally when people feel like they need to come home, I interpret that as that their soul needs to come home into their body. Their body is their home in this, and but for this, because the angel is talking to you, bringing them home, I actually feel like it's the opposite of that, because he's there and he's here, and to help him feel more comfortable with that divine home, and that you can do that by your blessings of him, praying for him, and send, however, and doing that where he can verbally hear that, and even if he can't, just to be able to say that, it's really powerful for them. And there is a kind of, so I feel like, when people's brains become sick like that, because I think of that as it's an organ that's become sick, it's not translating reality in the same way, and they don't remember things in the same way, that there's, that to help him feel comfortable with that home, that there's a bit of fear around the divine, what we would call divine. It doesn't scare you at all, but it feels like it's a little scary for him for some reason. And it may just be, and sometimes if we're raised with the idea of sin, and he may not feel like he's worthy or he's good enough. So to let him feel that worthiness, that good enough, and for you to be the sacred witness to see him like that, no matter what your history is with him, just as like an angelic being yourself, as this neutral, with the neutral angelic gaze that they have, where you can just offer, you see him for his true self, his, who he really is, and that's beyond the embodied self. But that's what it feels to me like he needs help in healing, transitioning with that, and being comfortable with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I thought that was the answer, but I'm like, I didn't understand why I would have to come here to do it, because like I said, I can do it in a different realm.
You know why? Because you need to be there verbalizing some of this, because his brain, it's like you need to say it out loud to him. You just, even if he doesn't recognize you, to say those prayers, to sing those hymns, or to let him hear the music of, if I don't know if he grew up going to a church and I heard, if there's music to him that might spark something that is familiar about, I don't know if it's gospel music or what, your family's traditions were back then when he was younger, what his family traditions were. But if you can research that and find that out, that may also help him in remembering that divine aspect of reality of creation. He needs to remember his divinity. That's what the angel is telling you. So it's not home for the body, it's home there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Lorelei. All right, Galactic Ashley.
So, okay, I got to ask some 3D questions first. Is he in a care facility?
No.
No, so he is in a physical home?
Yes.
Is he at a point where he is violent at all? Because a lot of men tend to become violent when they have Alzheimer's or dementia.
From what I have heard, no, he's not violent, but the lady who was taking care of him, which is somebody who's been around for a long time, he was dealing with, it's like she's indirectly telling me that he is maybe becoming a little rebellious. So not necessarily violent, but maybe I can just feel that he probably said some off the wall stuff to her.
Right. So, what I am getting and what like the least the 3D purpose of you being there is, and he's probably not going to like it. I don't know how far along he is, but he has Medicare, Is he on either of those?
I have no idea.
Do you have siblings? Do you know, like, can you be his what do you call it? Do you have power of attorney? Who has that?
No, the lady.
Oh, the lady. And okay, so these are the 3D things that need to be taken care of, is what I'm getting. Obviously, you do what you feel that you need what you need to do. I don't know who she is. But and I have been around men that have had Alzheimer's, and there's a point where you cannot be their caregiver. It's also a lot more challenging to find a man. It's easier to place a woman who has Alzheimer's than it is a man. So it can be beneficial for you to start maybe trying to file paperwork, because it can take a while to find a facility that will have him to come in there. That way, if he's still embodied for some time, there is a place that you can go visit him where he is safe, because I had my grandfather or step grandfather, doesn't matter, grandfather would think like he was in a war or something, and would like leave the house. Like you have to have specialists that come in, and it's a lot. And so doing that is going to be beneficial. And then when you're with him, what you're really doing is you have this opportunity. So outside of the 3D things, that's a lot of paperwork too. You can also find social workers. Every state has one of these, but there's a number that you can call that can help you to know what needs to be done to help like a parent. It's like a Medicare, Medicaid situation, and there's people that will help you navigate the paperwork. So the second thing is what I got was I don't know if you have siblings. But to check your motivation as to why you're there. And I don't mean because you're there for stuff. I mean, if you're there out of guilt, because what is beneficial is to purify your motivations for being there, right? So that you're there because you want to be there, because you're choosing to be there, not because you feel like you have to, or you're in debt, or you're guilty. And what you're really doing, like what Lorelei was saying, is that it's less about him and more about you having the opportunity to heal yourself, to give yourself forgiveness, to release him from getting bondages of being your father, right? And this doesn't excuse anything that he did or left or why he wasn't present or whatever it was, but that when you and I've personally experienced this, but when you release your parents from the expectations of being your parents, you can then become your own divine parent, start taking a lot more self-responsibility to parent yourself, and then you can see them more clearly and see what role and purpose they're serving you in this lifetime and what their master teacher role is, even though it's highly uncomfortable a lot of times. And when you are working with somebody that has Alzheimer's or dementia, they are frequently out of body and going in and out. So it's almost going to be easier for you to connect with him. And it's okay that he doesn't remember you, but there will be these pockets where he will, and he will also be showing you and reenacting. It's almost like you're on a stage. He'll be reenacting things about him that you didn't even know. So like I had a grandmother that was sitting on the edge of her bed, and she was like 8 years old on a bus in the South. And I was like, I never knew that about her, right? But she's demonstrating this bus ride for me. So there are these little moments in all of this where they are showing you these parts of themselves. And so if you can get through the emotion and all of this stuff and kind of watch it. And then I knew somebody else who every time the person said something, they said yes. Like in stage acting, there's that game that you play where you say something and the other person has to say yes to what you just said. So it's like you just say yes, and then there's no resistance, and then you can kind of be with them and be around them and just kind of let things unfold. But when he's in a care facility, it releases a lot of pressure off of you so that you can be there when you can be there. And then the other thing I got was look around Atlanta and see what is there for you. Like, explore Atlanta. Hot Atlanta. It's probably really hot right now.
It is hot. I have been exploring. I'm from here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm from here. I've been on this whole journey of going where I'm guided to. And I just came back for this, but I do think you probably something that you said, something about the motivation of why I'm there. It was probably on a deeper level is to have some type of closure as far as like healing. Because I've been trying to have that within myself. And maybe this is something that will really give me the closure that I need. So I definitely understand that. I think at first I was resistant to it because the lady, I don't know who this lady is. To be quite honest, I don't know her. She's not that open to me coming around. I don't think she I don't know what it is.
Strange about her, by the way. I don't know who she, like, I want you to find out who she is. I don't think that we're necessarily supposed to tell you, but all I know is I feel I don't, there's this like part of me, like, I don't like her. I don't know who she is. I don't know what she's trying to manipulate. It doesn't matter if she's in the church. Like, I don't know what's going on, but why does she have power of attorney? And when did she get it? And how far was he? Like, there is something there, but you can't go in with that energy too. You have to like, what is happening? Who are you? Tell me about, I mean, that seemed very manipulative, but like in an
But no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think at first,
Oh, I was just going to say, I've also been watching a lot of people that have been being guided to go back to their hometowns, and it's foreclosure, and things are being shown to them so that they can let go and to recollect their energies that are on old timelines and are part of old paradigms. So you are able to, you're like collecting your power back. You're like, I'm coming down here, I'm going to take care of some stuff, I'm going to heal, I'm collecting my power and my trauma from that street corner, I'm healing this wound from when I was in that classroom. And you just like, when you're walking around, you can just be like, I'm calling back my sovereignty, I'm calling back my power. And it's like, it's going to be like a massive amount of healing. You're going to like I don't know, it's like a tornado of healing, but not in like a wild or violent way. So it's almost like you're the
thank you.
but not in a bad way.
Thank you. And I'll definitely, so you said the paperwork, in the 3D, you said do the paperwork, go over there and see him. She said be verbal with him and my siblings.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the things is like, if you're choosing to be a part of this and your siblings are not, you can't have resentment towards them. I mean, you can feel it, but it's like, be aware of that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would start, who is this person? Ask around, look around. This is probably the community part, right? So if you're from there and you have, what do they call it, ears to the ground or to the wall, I don't know what these phrases are. But like, kind of start reintegrating and sort of see what's going on. But I just am getting a care facility, like start the paperwork to find out what you can do and what can be done to help him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. And just Galactic Ashley, someone put the word in the chat, ombudsman. Is that what you were looking for earlier? It's someone that checks to ensure that the care that someone's getting is okay, like they look into it in a more impartial way.
I don't know. I will. I know what it's called in California, so I will try and do a quick internet search to see if I can find something.
Okay. Great.
And just reminded me, I actually heard like the other day, wellness checks So I guess by you saying that the lady, you don't feel comfortable, it is probably really something about her and how he's taking care of her. So you saying that he needs to probably be in a facility is probably very much accurate, because maybe something's really off.
Because
Or
he's
just
probably going to get worse. That's the thing. And so it's like you want to get into a place, right? Because he's going to get to the point where it's like, you know, so you want to start the paperwork stuff now. Is just going to keep getting worse. I don't know how necessarily how bad he is right now or even how old he is, but it feels like it's going to get worse. So it's good to stabilize him in a place where he can, like what Lorelei was saying about Lorelei too, about the about the physical structure being a home, because if he can be an environment where he is at least being given care and you can kind of check up on him and check in and work through your own stuff, he'll be able to release, because I do feel him reaching out to you. Like I'm seeing a lot of arms reaching out to you, and it's almost like he does want to connect with you. So there's something there, but yeah. It doesn't matter who she is unless there's going to be a point where there needs to be more than one person, and it's very, very expensive to pay for 24-hour in-home care.
Yeah, if she's not open to you, something just feels weird about that. Like if she's really a good person in his life, she ought to be open to you.
Yeah, I don't get why she feels that way towards me at all, but everything will work out. Thank you so much.
You're welcome from all of us. Thank you so much for coming and for asking.
No problem. You all have a good night.
You too.
All
right. We've got one more if Drea is still here. Yes, Drea is still here.
Yes, I am here. I will make it quick. I am single, and I wanted to see if you could pick up anything with my love life. And I wanted to ask you a question before. What type of crystal is good to protect yourself during the reading? I'm not a professional reading, but like if my friends ask me a question and if I could see it, then I will tell them what I see. But I don't know how to like open, close myself, you know, but I guess I could start with protecting myself.
Yeah. Great. Well, let's see. So I'm trying to think. Yeah. So like I totally can't see your eyes at all, right? Because you've got an image up here, but you've got sunglasses on. I know one example that I've been giving for just protecting yourself in general. I mean, to me, really, it is intention. And sometimes having a kind of an image of something can be helpful to you. So I'm not answering in terms of a crystal, so the others can answer in terms of a crystal. So one of the other practitioners that came on does this with kids, and I found it really helpful, interesting. So the example that she gave, and I'm going to say something harsh to myself just as a demonstration of this, just so you know that's coming. It's so if I said, Lorelei, you're supposed to wear purple today. You're supposed to wear purple. Like you didn't pay attention. Right. And so that has an impact on me to say that. And if I do the intention of just zipping up my chakras, right? So just like, whoosh, right? So just energetically, whoosh, and then I say the same thing to myself. Oh, Lorelei, you're supposed to wear purple today. You're supposed to wear purple today. Like I have the experience for me, it's like just bouncing off of me.
Wow.
So all I've done is the intention of like, it's like, I know I'm worthy, that I'm allowed to zip myself up. And I trust that will. And that alone has such an impact.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So there's a tidbit. All right. Who else wants to share? And you can just jump in. Yeah, go ahead, jump in, Lorelei.
So if I am understanding the question right, you want to do readings for people, and but you also want protection during the readings, is that right?
I don't do like professional readings, but sometimes my friends know that I am gifted. So like I could touch something and I could feel something, but I mostly see everything. Like I don't do tarot cards. So let's say I'm on the phone with my friend and they'll ask me a question, like, should I resign from work or stay put? And I told my friend to stay put, and then COVID happened. So she's happy that she stayed put. So it's not like I just answer the question. It's not like in depth.
Got it. So, what I would would really recommend is you get more training for these gifts that you have.
Thank you.
Because if you protect yourself too much, you're not going to be able to do a reading. So you have to find that fine balance between protection and openness. And a lot of that comes from experience. There's all different kinds of tricks that you can do to protect yourself. If you feel like you're particularly vulnerable, it depends on what kind of protection that you're looking for. There's, you can picture a dark blue around you if you want to be hidden. You can wear usually dark crystals, black crystals are associated with protection in that they tend to draw the energy to the crystal rather than to you. But if you're reading somebody, you need to be able to feel their energy and see their energy. So you need to really develop the skills perhaps on how to cleanse yourself, how to reset yourself and there are many, many different ways and techniques of doing that. But if you're going out into the world, dark tourmaline and smoky quartz, things like that are often used for protection because the dark color tends to be like a magnet. You think of the color black, it absorbs all colors, whereas white reflects all colors. So it's absorbing things that you don't have to. As far as your romance, your love life, the first thing that I get from you is, there's kind of a little bit of fear of connection, but I guess what I'm picturing and feeling is, do you belong to a religious organization?
Oh, I used to go to church 2 years ago until the pastor left.
Oh, okay. Because you know what? I see somebody there. I see a young man there in whatever, like in a church setting, in a Christian. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I just see that there will be, if you don't want to do the online dating thing, which is an option too, but I see that kind of connection with somebody in that community. I see a young man there. So
thank you.
For whatever that's worth, that's just sort of my
Thank you. That is awesome. Thanks.
Okay. So this is for the person before. I just put in my georgiacares.org, which is going to be like a health advocacy program local to Georgia that will, it's like a state health insurance assistant program. So they will find people that can help you with your particular situation that goes with Medicaid and Medicare. Okay, so well, what I'm getting as far as the protection is concerned is I definitely agree with Lorelei too, is that going ahead and looking into psychic development classes and exploring them for fun, because it's definitely not wrong that you're doing this. So I'm not saying that, but what happens is when you become aware of it, now you have a responsibility. Gotcha. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, and I had something similar happen. It's basically I was reading people like all of the time. People would ask me questions. I would say stuff, but I wasn't really calling it a reader, or I wasn't calling myself a reader. I was just basically always getting information. It was like, it felt normal to me. And then finally when they were like, okay, you can do this now. And I was like, woohoo. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take some courses, because now that you're aware of it, it's not always appropriate to answer. Or because you have to ask for permission. There's all kinds of things kind of involved. So that's part of it. And then the other part of it is when you're asking about protection, what I'm getting, and it sort of actually feels like similar with the love question, is like, you're like, right? Like I need protection from the scary stuff, when really what they're showing me is an angel with like this huge flame. So it's like you go in with light, and then the scary stuff that you are concerned about, it can't exist in that space. So these would be all things that you would learn, and then you would get to connect with this other community. It also feels like there's a part of you that, I don't know what kind of religious stuff that you were in before, or what church you went to, but if there's belief systems in that church that what you're doing is bad, I would check those belief systems and heal that, because what you're doing is not bad. If it were bad or you didn't like it, you probably wouldn't be here, or you wouldn't be doing it. Right? Because it seems a natural, it's like a natural part. It's really a natural part of all of us. It's like this whole ascension process or being gifted. It's not only for the elite or for some of us. It's literally for every single being that is here. It's not only for some, it's for all. And so the phrase the beings always say is that all are chosen, few choose.
Right? Yes.
So
because I've been in denial for a long time.
Right. So with the love thing, that you're totally allowed to be like, I want this kind of person and I want that kind of thing. But it feels like you're asking for love, but you only want to experience this much. And so maybe you're not quite ready, and that might be why that it's not necessarily happening, because it's like if you're ready, you're going to be open and trust that you are discerning and that you know what's best for you, and that you find your somebody that's kind of like on the same path as you, or won't detract you from where you're trying to go. And it might not be the right time, because it's challenging when you're about to go through a whole spiritual to be in a relationship with somebody, because that person probably is not going to be there very long, because they're going to be like, wow, because so many things are going to be changing. You're going to be coming into your power if you allow it. So if it were me, which it's not, I would focus on that. And I would also recommend, even though I have not had personal experience with this, because my relationship with the divine is awesome, although I was just in a session and the guy was like, I see you with somebody. And I was like, no. But I do recommend Lorelei. She does some online dating stuff, and maybe that would help.
I would definitely look into that.
Empowering you for your spiritual self-development.
No, thank you. I want it all. I want it both.
It's like, Galactic Ashley, your other is your dog, so you already have your other.
Yes.
I would say, yeah. So Drea, and am I pronouncing your name?
You.
Drea.
Yes.
I say so. Whether or not you're doing it professionally, you are a practitioner. So I would encourage you to experiment with the idea of dating a practitioner. Dating someone who's already in a version of the field, who's already doing this, right? So it's someone that empowers your journey of opening.
Cool. I will, because I'm having difficulty. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I want to also not to date someone that's like so above you where you don't feel like you're their equal, and don't date someone where they're below you where you're always having to pick them up and carry them up and grow them. Yes. Right. So you want to find someone that's in the same range and someone that's growing also. And it could be someone that's a little bit above you in how they're practicing or something like that, in terms of just beyond in some ways, right? We're all like learning and ahead of each other in various ways. But someone that's in the same general realm, right? And growing and also practices and so open to this work, someone that's not going to hold you back at all. And you can experiment just with dating people. It doesn't have to be looking for a relationship right now. Right, because if you're going to go through a lot of changes, who you're open to and who you'll be dating, just like what Galactic Ashley was saying, yeah, that will shift and change. And I think in general,
thank you.
It's great to be with people like us. Yeah.
Oh, I agree. And I've been dating since January, so I was just curious if I would ever find, someone I like to talk to, companion. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. I appreciate both of you guys, all of you guys staying. I really do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, for waiting so long. And I don't, those of you that are on phones, I don't know how easily you're connecting with the chat, but I've been putting in the chat a link for giving us feedback on tonight, and you get entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute session. if you fill that out too. So I just put that in the chat again. And I think I put in all the practitioners' information again recently. I haven't put in mine, but let me put in just the 3 of us again. And I put in, I also mentioned just some other events. So those of you that are opening and learning, growing your intuition, we have lots of events that support that too. And just attending these, right, is a great way of opening, just hearing all the different practitioners and how we practice and experience us do this. So on Tuesday this week, we have a panel on self-image and self-esteem. On Wednesday, we have a panel on Lionsgate Cosmic Activation. On Friday the 6th, we have a practice circle for strengthening your gifts. So this would be like Drea, so that you're already practiced in some form. So this is just getting together with peers and experimenting and practicing with them, right? So in the moment, like not someone that you know, can you do reading? So just getting a chance to practice just with peers.
Yes.
Right? And then
sounds good. I want to do it.
And you could even be ready for next Sunday on the 8th. We moved it to the 8th. We have an anything and everything panel where people ask questions on anything. There's no theme, and it's particularly for practitioners in training. So it's people that are just getting used to stepping up on stage, or people that are opening to a new modality and practicing with that new modality. And so you get support from other practitioners before the event, during the event, and after the event. So low stress, and it's half price for people to ask questions of the panel. So again, low stress for the people that are in training on the panel. And then Friday, August 13, we have a panel on witchcraft and alchemy. So just examples of all the different kinds of things we have going on. And I know I put those in the chat a bunch too. So let me put in, well, let's see. So Lorelei and Galactic Ashley, go ahead and share all your, who you are, what you do, and your contact info. So it's in the recording as well if people, they want to come back and they can find you.
Yeah, thank you. So modernmystic.me is my website, and you can reach me through there. I do a lot of, the mystical traditions. I unravel curses and help spirits release. And I do runic readings as opposed to tarot readings. I teach mediumship and meditation, and I do spirit talk as well. So I'm a little, I'm a little discombobulated too. It's been a long evening. So it's been a pleasure. And I think next time I'm going to call myself Laureli instead of Lorelei. So that way it's kind of, it trips me up every time people address you, because I'm like, wait, who are they talking to? So anyway, thank you very much, Lorelei, for, so weird to say that, for asking me to participate. Thank you. It's been an honor.
It's changed for me too. Yeah. So Laureli or Lorelei H and Lorelei S. Or yeah, it's been lovely having you. I look forward to having you back. Galactic Ashley.
Oh, you totally have letters after your name. I could have just used that because I don't love using 1 and 2 because it's all human and hierarchical, and that's not the point. I just did it because I think Lorelei S was speaking first. I am Galactic Ashley, and I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. You can find me at galacticashley.com as well as the crystalskullcouncil.com. I also work with the Crystal Skull Council, and we are made up of a growing collective of activated crystal skull beings, since this was really a crystal skull thing. We manifested all of this to be of heart-centered service with the intention to articulate wisdom from the Crystal Skull consciousness fields that share divine guidance in support of our ascension in union with Gaia. We just started, but if you joined, it's definitely not too late, but it's a 10-week program called Meet the Galactics. And I think Lorelei's putting something in the chat, but if you go to my website and go under Galactic Guided Intensives, you can join us. And we are a great group of people, and it has been very unexpected in a very amazing way. So there are some, there's 5 special guest speakers that are coming in on Sundays, and then we meet once a week. And so far, the energies and the star nations that have been coming in have been incredible, and they bring in activations every week, and then you can connect with the different the energies of these beings if you want. And if you want to learn more about your star lineages and heritage, or you want to explore, or if you're like, I'm a star seed and I know what my mission is, then definitely come. because there are activations and just a lot of extra stuff that is definitely designed in there for you. And then if anybody else wants to go to my YouTube channel, if you just search for Galactic Ashley, there is a 30-day exploration of words. It's called Sovereignty Through the Sound Template of Words, and it's completely free. And you can work with your subconscious and explore language and the vibration of sound and the words that you use to create the structure of your current reality. So with that, I will stop talking. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yeah, and I put your info in the chat again too. And I'm Lorelei Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. And one of the applications of my work is indeed conscious online dating, where I help you write a profile that shares who you authentically are, help you take photos or choose photos that shares who you authentically are, as the energy coming through your eyes so other people can recognize you. And then we screen through eyes of potential partners, potential dates, to find the ones that are more like your soulmates, the ones that are similar to you, particularly help avoid the ones that are patterns that you've already dated in the past, so you don't want to date anymore and you're heading in a new direction. That's a healthy direction that helps you be more of you and express your purpose. You can find out more about me at LoreliShimayo.com. That's LaureliShimayo.com. And I also produce all of these events. MeWeFairs.com is the website, MEWEFAIRS.com. We've got tons of stuff going on, including in-person events starting in the fall of 2021 again. So thanks for being with us, everyone. And pull everyone off spotlight so we can see who's still here, who stayed an extra hour to be here together while we were answering a few more questions. So thanks practitioners who stayed, thanks everyone who stayed to ask your question, and thanks everyone else who's holding space and holding the energy for this.